start streaming. So see if that affects the interwebs there at all. No, it shouldn't, should it? But all right. Oh, I got to grab my Coke. I'll have a sip before we start. Coca-Cola. Yeah, you got to enjoy the moment. This is a hell of a moment too. Sitting in my room, talking to you. Not in person. Feels a bit weird. Yeah. Yes. Higgledy. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. We've got technology, Bryce. We are able to utilize it in the best of ways. Alrighty. You ready, my friend? Cool. Let's go. Good day, everybody, and welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 186 are open. Almost forgot there. This week on the show, we're going to be talking about Nintendo's future potential acquisitions. An OLED display company has mentioned the Nintendo Switch Pro, and a former staff member of Retro Studios has suggested that we may not be getting a Metroid Prime Trilogy. Wouldn't that be a shame if that was the case? The talk all about that is my best mate, Bryce DeWitt. Bryce, how you going, my friend? I'm good. It's a bit weird this week. This is one of the rare episodes when we're not in person. I can't even see you. You're just like a godlike voice coming down from the atmosphere and coming into my ear holes. It's quite a... Oh, yes. Oh. Banana. Oh, I don't have a banana, sorry, Bryce. I've got a can of Coke. Me angry. Well, don't be angry. Well, I know you've had a... I know you don't want a banana, Bryce. It's too late. You've probably had tea. Do you have bananas for tea, or what's your sort of how do you handle bananas? Were you just alluding to some Donkey Kong news we're going to be talking about later on? A meat banana. Holy, I don't know how I feel about a meat banana, Bryce. That could refer to a few things. Meat banana. Delicious. Yeah. Jeez, I don't know how I feel about that. Well, like we were talking about before, Bryce, you've had a hell of a day. You've had the TV repairman come. You've been without a TV for about a month or so, but I guess you've had a Nintendo Switch, so you could play your portable on the couch without the TV, but still a bit lame that you couldn't use your 65-inch. But tell us a bit about your adventures today, because I actually found this pretty interesting.
And like I can't stress this enough. The crack was no more than like half a centimeter. It was so insignificant it wasn't funny. And I was very disappointed by that, considering this is easily the most expensive screen that I've ever purchased. You know, it was a bit over $3K. And I bought it specifically so that like next gen gaming was covered, at least, you know, for the first few years, and maybe down the line there'll be other options, cheaper options, in which, you know, I can sort of jump in on the train there. Anyway, so repairman brought a panel to my house today, and I helped him sort of just get shit in order so he could do it himself and all that stuff. And he pulled it apart. It was quite a messy procedure. He cracked the back of my TV by quite a large margin. There was a bunch of cracks. He said that it's not uncommon to see like a whole corner go missing.
Jesus. That is disheartening. That is disheartening.
Well, this guy repairs about 6 TVs a week, and he said it's not uncommon to see that when they do crack, like a whole chunk will come off it, and then it'll just be exposed until the back can be replaced. So mine wasn't quite that bad. Like I got some cracks in there, and that sucks and everything, but one of the cracks is covered up by the stand, which you have to screw in, so you won't notice it anyway. The other one is more noticeable, which is annoying, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because through Samsung Care and all that stuff, he should just be able to add that to the job log. They'll send him a new back, and they'll fix up my TV, and then I'm pretty much, like, apart from the main board, I might as well just have, like, an entirely new TV. Yeah. Which, yeah. And I sat down and got to discussing with him because, like, obviously with the way gaming's going and stuff like that, these TVs are becoming a necessity to actually utilize the hardware properly. When I bought mine at the time, the only 2 TVs that were Generation 8 ready were the Sony X9000H and the Samsung Q80T. And I got the Q80T because I've had Samsung TVs that have lasted a very long time. I had one since I was a teenager that was like, since I was a teenager, it lasted 10 years.
Yeah.
This one lasted 4 months, and I'm pretty extremely disappointed, to be honest. And after talking to him, he basically just laid it out there and said he's just like, they're worthless. Like these days, like as cool as the technology is behind the LED panels, everything else is just absolute garbage. Like the protective layer and protecting the LED screen is worthless. It doesn't protect anything. That's why you got to crack under your screen as opposed to outside of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then he's sort of like, the back is cheap. It's probably about a $4 mold. And like, keep in mind, this is a 65-inch TV, so it's quite a large back. He's like, this thing is cheap. It's cheap on every TV. It doesn't even make up any of the cost price. They use clips instead of screws to keep them in, which is why they break so easily, because clips are obviously stretching the plastic when you're trying to take them out. So they said the reason they do that is because they want to save money on screws. So they cheap out on that.
Yeah. It sounds like they cheap out on literally everything apart from the panel, which is it's disappointing. Like, I guess if they did use like the premium screws and like a really nice solid back, you'd probably be paying a couple of grand more, like realistically. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of baffling. Like TVs for me, like I haven't bought a TV since 2013, and you look into it a fair bit at the time, but it's one of those products where you sort of don't think about it too much until it's like, oh, it's been 10 years and I've got a brand new Xbox or PlayStation or future Nintendo Switch. It will be 4K compatible. So then you actually think about looking into it then. But it's a bit of a shame that, because you spent like $3,000 or so on this TV. Like, that's a lot of pocket change to be spending on this type of thing. And it just sort of breaks in the first 4 months, which is a bit unfortunate, but.
Well, 4 months is ridiculous because Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Every television I've ever owned has lasted 7 years or more before it's died. So when this is the first TV I've bought, like brand spanking new, like right off the show floor, just
off the show floor
from the box, whatever. Yeah. And for it to last 4 months, I was exceedingly disappointed. But apparently, that's just how TVs are now. Like they make them so cheap that there's absolutely no way around it. But the semi upside to that is because they're making them so cheap these days and like really cheapening out on the security measures and stuff like that, like they did with CRTs and
you're not getting into one of them, yeah.
no, and early LEDs, like, you know, they were pretty well covered. It was pretty hard to break them. Like it would take a pretty decent, significant amount of force, but these days it only takes a hairline fracture. So, at least thanks to laws that protect the consumer, like if they demand that I pay for that replacement, I can turn around and basically say, well, no, I had this TV for 4 months. It's easily the most expensive TV I've ever bought. Every other TV has been cheaper, including my last one, which was a third of the price, lasted 7 years. This is bullshit. I don't think that I should have to pay for this because let's be real, you know, for a half a centimeter crack, for it to destroy, like I couldn't use it at all. If I turned it on, like the problem was a line, but eventually it got to the point where I'd turn it on, it'd be on for 10 seconds and then it would shut down in emergency mode. There was no way around it. So it was literally unusable.
So what was the first thing that you put on once the TV was working again? Just watch Netflix, or did you put on a game and enjoy the nice 4K-ness once again?
Near Replicant.
Oh yeah, you picked that up, right? So that you finally were able to play that a little bit.
Yeah, I picked it up while I was on holiday. So
yeah, cool.
I was like, all right, yep, cool, gonna play that. And now I've ordered like a screen protector thing that's like a 3mm thick plastic that you sort of hang off the top and Velcro around the back. So that, you know, if by any sense and reason, because I still don't think it was the kids because it was just so mediocre of a damage. If it happens to be kid damage, at least it's going to be protected and it's going to take a much more significant amount of force than just what it got.
Yeah, big. You got to teach the kids that TVs are not big iPads. You can't go up to them and touch them. They're not made to be touched.
I mean that's true, yeah. But like, I just feel like it could have been done so easily by anything.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's actually kind of stupid how, you know, small the crack was in comparison to the actual problem. Like it wasn't even the crack that was significant. If it was just a crack, and you know, it was there and it was a little annoying to look at, I probably would have just went, oh well, that's whatever. But it killed my TV entirely. So I had a $3,000 brick sitting on my TV cabinet for the last 2 months.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah,
it would shit
TVs.
me too. It would shit me too, man. At least you got a podcast you can come on and be like, you know what, I'm bloody pissed. It took 2 months to fix this bad boy, but it's finally fixed, but I'm still pissed. Everyone's just like, yeah, well, fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I do want to put it out there that Samsung were very helpful throughout the process, though. They constantly kept me updated because they had to employ someone to come out and, well, contract, I suppose. They had to contract somebody to come out and do it locally because I'm not a metropolitan area customer. So they contracted someone to come out and do it and do whatever, and they gave me, you know, the guy with a fair bit of experience, and he sort of put it out there, and he's just like, yeah, you know, you're under Samsung care for the first 3 years, so this should be covered. I'm like, fantastic, because I don't understand why I'd have to pay for this. This is kind of just bullshit. So yeah, and it's fine. Basically, it's just like, all right, don't worry about it. You'll probably get an email saying how was your experience with us. You can choose to answer that, and then be on your way and re-enjoy your TV again. I said, thank you. It's been 2 months.
I can finally catch up on Desperate Housewives, for goodness sakes.
It took fucking too long to get back to my Desperate Housewives.
What's going on with Cheryl? Who knows? I haven't had my bloody TV. Anyway, Bryce.
Cheryl's a slut. We don't talk about it.
Jesus. Cheryl's a very nice lady, Bryce. Don't you dare say that about her. I've got something to cheer you up, though, Bryce. We got another 5-star Apple podcast review. Would you like me to read it to you, Bryce? Since you can't see
yes,
it.
Mate.
You're coming from the
No, I
ether.
can't.
And much like everyone else, we're just coming from the ether as well into your headphones. Hello, everyone. So
Hello.
the title of this one is called The Doors Are Open. It's 5 stars, and it's by Campos2112 from Australia. And it reads, always know that once the doors to the House of Mario podcast are opened, you will be in for a treat. I always enjoy catching up on the latest Nintendo news and banter from two SA legends. Keeps me up to date with a smile on my face while I'm driving to the office or customizing controllers after hours. Keep it up. Now, Bryce, that last bit there, so customizing controllers after hours, does that ring a bell of who this potentially could be from Australia?
Yes, it does.
It does, doesn't it? So,
War.
yeah, so thank you very much to, War Gaming.
We are robots.
Yeah, We Are Robots for leaving us a review. Really appreciate that. And if it isn't you guys, and it's just some other controller customizing people, thank you very much. And I don't know when I can say this, but I am organising a custom controller with them guys. It just comes down when we can fit into the line and get that made. So I'm looking forward to sharing that in the future as well. Looking forward to seeing that.
Hell yeah.
And I also want to have a Guru Geek Out this week about Paul James, our friend Paul James Bryce. He's doing absolutely...
Padge.
Yes, Padge. He's doing absolutely fantastic work. I just want to put everyone his way that might not be familiar with him. I know a lot of our listeners and a lot of our friends are definitely familiar with Paul James, but if you want to go and check out his written work on player2.net, you go and check out his reviews and editorial stuff over there. He's an absolutely fantastic writer and an absolutely amazing voice in the Australian games industry, but... The sort of the main thing I want to point everyone towards is his podcast and interview series called Dev Diary. And Dev Diary, every 2 weeks, he goes and talks to a different game developer. And he's got people all big and small all over the industry, a lot of indie Australian guys, as well as some big names you might recognize as well. And his last episode, he talked to Rami Ismail. And it was an absolutely fantastic discussion. I haven't actually heard Rami sort of talk in person before. It's always been on Twitter and stuff. He's always been a fascinating guy, and sort of the journey he's gone through just it was absolutely amazing. He travels all over the world doing sort of speeches and helping developers in countries that don't speak English have access to tools and opportunities that a lot of people in maybe more fortunate countries, let's say, that speak English and have access to money and resources. And it was absolutely an amazing discussion. It really did sort of open my eyes, and it was just fantastic. I want everyone to go and check that out. Absolutely amazing. If you want to go and follow Paul, you can find him at... Let me pull it up here so I don't butcher it, but it's pretty obvious. You can follow him at Paul James Games. Go and check him out. Keep up with Dev Diary. It'll be an absolutely amazing addition to your podcast queue. It won't take too much of your time. Every fortnight or so, an amazing interview and a look into the games industry. So definitely go and check that out. Bryce, do you have any Guru Geek Out for this week, my friend?
I kind of just want to put it out there that, and I mean, for anybody that has been paying attention, I just want to give a shout out to our little community in general, I guess. It's been happening over the past few days after a little challenge from Dane to you.
Yes.
To do a big old pack battle, and the hype is real, and we've got like a few people in on it now. I really wanted to join in some way, but I just bought Pokemon cards, and obviously I'm like looking at this TV, and I'm like, damn, I don't think I can do anything about this until I know what kind of a situation I'm in. So instead of joining in on the pack battle, I will be the scorekeeper. And I think we've got 4 people in total opening ETBs, and we're going to do one big old pack off and see who comes out as the winner. But the hype around it has been a lot of fun. We've been like lightly talking in group discussions and stuff. I've got like little mischievous ideas in my head about like how I want to run things as the scorekeeper. I know a lot of people didn't tune into me streaming last night because it was like a last minute thing.
How did that go?
Oh no, not much going on, man. Like it was so short notice and so late at night. I wasn't expecting anything.
I saw the message this morning. I'm like, oh, cool. Bryce is streaming.
I tell you who did pop in.
Who popped in?
Good friend at the show, Jamie Penning.
Oh, Penning, good on him.
And
he would have loved you. He would have loved your Final Fantasy 14. He's like, what the fuck is this?
It wasn't just Final Fantasy 14 though. We actually got to talking about because I sort of light discussed with him about what the score rules should be.
Yes,
between me and him, we devised a bit of a plan. So I've got that written down.
I like it.
And then I opened some Shining Fates, 50 packs worth on the online game.
Okay.
Just for Jamie's viewing. So that was fun.
Exclusive for Jamie. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Did you get anything good? Oh yes. Are you gonna tell me what you got from the code cards?
I opened 50 packs. I got 3 Ditto Vs, 2 of your best friend.
Oh, Lapras?
No, Shiny.
Yeah.
Shiny Truckster City.
Oh, you got 3, yeah. I got 4 of the bastards
I did get a Lapras VMAX, which is nice. I got 2 Alchemy Hyper S.
Yeah.
But not a single shiny Charizard.
No Charizard. Oh.
But that's all right. That's $7 well spent for 50 packs.
Yeah. So I guess just a little bit more information before we jump to the rest of the show about our Shining Fates Elite Trainer Box opening or break or whatever you want to call it. We will be streaming it live on youtube.com/iDruby, and it will also be posted as an audio podcast on this feed. So it will be episode 187 of this podcast. So it'll be audio friendly. You'll be able to follow along in the car, at work, or whatever. You'll be able to join in the fun there. I cannot wait for this, man. It's going to be so much fun. It really is.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is it, Friday night?
Yeah, Friday night. I think that's what everyone decided on. I put into our group chat like numerous times like, hey guys, what time of date do you want to do? It was like, no response. Then someone's just like, yeah, make it Friday. I'm like, yeah, all right, Friday suits me. Cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, so hopefully, with 4 of us, there'll be 40 packs to open all up. So surely, well, I mean, you opened 50, so. I
opened 50.
Not necessarily. But maybe we'll get that elusive physical VMAX shiny Charizard. Oh, man, I want it so bad.
I think everybody does. But that was kind of the same when I was opening Champion's Path and got the Charizard V.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I want that card, but there's no way in hell I'm getting it. And then next thing you know, well, I had it in my hand. I was like, shit.
Nice. Oh, man, I can't wait for this. It's going to be so much fun. So just keep an eye out on the podcast feed and YouTube. Check it out. Obviously, if you do want to see our faces and the cards, it will be on youtube.com/iDruby after the live stream. All right, Bryce. I think that's pretty much for the start of the show. We talked about TVs, Pokemon card openings, Paul James. Talked a lot about Paul James. He's a legend. But let's talk about some Nintendo news. How do you feel about that, my friend?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess we should at the house, Mario. Why not?
Woohoo! Yeah! Pika, Pika! Is that all?
I fight for my friends.
I had time for my friends. That was well.
Doesn't work so well over the internet, does it?
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't because, like, not only just that, but like, as good as the Roadcaster is and a revolutionary little piece of technology as it's been for our podcast,
beautiful. Yeah.
As soon as you start playing sounds, they cut in and out constantly, so it's hard to like.
I think it's a bit too much.
Out.
It's a bit too much to go over Discord, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
shit,
which is kind of like, well, I kind of just have to guess here.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you listen back to the MP3 when it's up. You got it pretty right. It just sounded like you just stumbled into a party, like, yeah, what's up, boys?
I time for my friends.
All right, Bryce. So the first story comes from way of videogamechronicle.com, and the title reads, Nintendo says future acquisitions would be driven by tech innovation. And Nintendo has said that any potential acquisitions it makes would be driven by the company's need to keep pace with rapidly advancing technology. So the article reads, President Shintaro Furukawa discussed the company's plans for its 1 trillion yen which is 9.2 billion US dollars, war chest during a press conference following Thursday's publication of its full year earning results. Quote, "We need to secure cash revenues to ensure financial stability, but we need to respond to rapidly advancing technological innovation. We may require companies that possess the technology, end quote, he said. Furukawa said in February that simply increasing the size of Nintendo's development teams through acquisitions would not be prudent, as it wouldn't necessarily result in higher quality games lineup. He told Nikkei that the company's approach to M&A is based on whether potential targets can improve the value of entertainment that Nintendo provides. The platform holder announced in January that it was buying Luigi Mansion 3 developer Next Level Games, its first acquisition in over a decade. The Vancouver, Canada-based studio has worked on several Nintendo franchises over the past 15 years, including Mario Strikers Charged, Punch-Out!, and Metroid Prime Federation Force. So, I guess this is just a bit of a business insight into what Nintendo is potentially looking at in the future. That they're not necessarily interested in buying brand new studios to produce games, but they are looking at basically technology that they think will improve either their hardware, software lineup, things like that. So I know like a lot of people are sort of maybe are looking towards Sony and Nintendo, since Microsoft is on such a huge rampage with buying Bethesda and a lot of other studios in 2018 and 2019. But also something from this article that really stood out to me, because I never looked into necessarily how much money Nintendo is sitting on. We know it's a lot, and it is a lot. It's $9.2 billion. But just put that in perspective, that Microsoft bought Bethesda for $7 billion, and that's sort of like pocket change. When it's like $9 billion is like, this is all of our money from one of our most successful eras, being the Wii and the DS era from, was it 2004 to 2012. So there's it puts a lot of things into perspective. Nintendo is a big corporation, but it's still a very small guy compared to even Sony, and especially compared to Microsoft. But do you have any thoughts on what potentially this could mean for the future of Nintendo's acquisitions?
I kind of think that it's the right move. I don't think they really need any other developers under their belt for what they currently have. Like, it's quite obvious that they are interested in putting out new IPs and all that stuff as well, but I think they're pretty confident that the studios that they have will cover it. Though, as we've discussed in prior episodes over the past few months, it's kind of a surprise that, they haven't bought like Bandai Namco at this point or something, because the amount of effort that comes in from them on Nintendo titles now is quite big. But, even so, it doesn't really matter all that much. Definitely hampering down on the technology side of things, making, the Switch or whatever comes after it rather, such a powerful piece of technology to run whatever you decide to put on it, and still keep it handheld would be awesome. Mind you, I don't know what they're really planning apart from an OLED screen. So
yeah,
it's hard to tell where they'll buy.
Yeah, it might not necessarily even mean like, buying stuff for hardware development. It might be like, that's a really useful application that will really help us move our development time, like cut it down and stuff like that. So it might not be related to that type of stuff at all. It might be like very back end type of stuff that helps Nintendo function as a developer. But I guess we'll find out in the future what they ended up spending their pocket change on, whether it's something interesting or it's just like, well, I guess that's just something behind the scenes that we'll never know about, which is probably more or less the case.
Too long didn't read. Guys, they won't be buying Unreal Engine anytime soon, so don't stress.
Oh, God, no.
Nintendo will not be gatekeeping Unreal Engine. They only have $7 billion. But In saying that though, before we pass on, how badly could Microsoft dominate the gaming industry at the click of its own fingers?
Yeah, no joke. Obviously, there's laws and things like that stop monopolies from happening within industries. But yeah, I could only imagine.
They only have to buy the right companies though. Like it's not even so much about like quantity. It's more or less the quality of the companies that they purchase. Obviously, Bethesda was a big one for them.
Yeah, like Bethesda, they're only like a couple more moves away from like really affecting the games industry in a way that if you want to play a significant amount of the type of games that are out there, that you'll have to get an Xbox. Like, for example, like EA has had a really strong relationship with Xbox for years now, and obviously they've got a absolutely fantastic relationship with having EA Access, a part of Game Pass, where if you pay for Game Pass, you get all of EA Access's back catalog, which is a great deal. But it does go to show, like if say Microsoft said, "Oh, you know what, we are going to put in a 30 friggin' $billion acquisition," like really just like really open up their wallet and like try and buy someone like that and make their games exclusive. You could just imagine that, but I don't think I have to worry about that because they've obviously got a partnership where Microsoft doesn't have to purchase them outright. And we sort of see that with Sony as well. Sony, they don't have the billions of dollars to throw around like Microsoft is, so they're making a bit more smaller acquisitions, whether it's just like, all right, exclusive rights to the Final Fantasy games for a year or forever or whatever it is, and putting more money into our own teams that already exist, and maybe breaking off into a 2 teams or something like that. So yeah, I just I don't see Nintendo having to compete necessarily on like with Microsoft, but it's definitely something they got to keep an eye on because they can't just let them go off and have almost 30 teams pumping out games for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So let's move on. So this story here kind of solidifies a rumor that we talked about a month or so ago about the OLED displays coming in the brand new model of the Switch. And this article comes from Nintendo Life, and it's titled "OLED Display Firm Mentions Switch Pro During Its Q1 Investors Call." And the article reads, "While Nintendo continues to focus on the current Switch model and the Switch Lite, both of which are selling better than expected, reports that it's working on a new Pro model refuse to go away. During Universal Display Corp's recent Q1 investors call, thanks to Spawnwave, reports regarding the new Switch model using an OLED panel were referenced. Company CEO and director Stephen V. Amberson noted, quote, Nintendo have selected an OLED screen for the new Switch Pro due to OLED benefits of higher contrast and faster response times. Back in March, we reported on rumors that the new model would include a Samsung-made 7-inch OLED screen. Samsung is one of the many companies which licenses phosphorescent OLED tech from Universal Display Corp. So, what kind of gets me about this story? It's like, it could very well be real. Like, looking into Spawnwave, he wouldn't necessarily put out there like a fake story or whatever, but it's just weird to me that he was the director of the company, Stephen V. Amberson. He's quoted for saying an OLED screen for the new Switch Pro, which is like, okay, is this new model actually called the Switch Pro? Because I kind of like, chances are it's not called the Switch Pro. And like him quoted for saying Switch Pro, is that just a word because it's in the ether at the moment? Is he just referring to a new Switch and just referring to it as Switch Pro? Or is this just something, it just sounds like something someone could have been like, oh yeah, no, definitely he said that it's on the Switch Pro. But it's actually, it could potentially just be called the Switch and it's just upgraded, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if they're going to go with the whole Pro moniker that PlayStation 4 went with back in 2016, but interesting regardless. It seems, I think, that these rumors at the end of the day are going to be real. I think it's a logical step that Nintendo would be upgrading a screen in a new model. And OLED is kind of the way to go as far as that goes. So I wouldn't be surprised that this is real, but I just found that quote a little bit strange.
Don't read too far into it, because at this current point in time, it's a code name. Like, the thing is that no matter what, if somebody's throwing out their Switch Pro out of the ether, there's been no other information out there, what have you. It's just under a code name. I don't think they would name it the Pro. I think they'd very clearly name it something else. If they do, then I guess I'll eat my socks or something. I don't know. But
yeah.
And at this current point in time, like for the drawing board references, it's a Switch Pro. They've got a Pro controller. So
true.
What about a Pro console?
It makes me.
So
it makes.
Doesn't.
Yeah, sorry. It just makes me wonder, like, using the moniker Pro, because like with PlayStation, when they brought out the PlayStation 4 Pro, that was very much targeted at consumers that are wanting a bit more from their gaming, and they could see probably in their results or their data that people were saying, you know what, I want a bit more out of my gaming. I want to go to PC gaming so I can, get my better graphics, I can get 4K resolution, all that type of thing. And I think they were sort of like, all right, we've got to offer an alternative to those types of people who want to spend a bit more money, who do want 4K and a bit more consistent frame rate and that type of thing. So that's where that sort of Pro moniker came from. And Apple is a company that uses it a lot as well in their, everything actually now.
Yeah.
And it used to mean like it is for the professional. So like the MacBook Pro, that is for the professional who's editing video, all that type of stuff that needs that computing power. But even they sort of moved towards like, all right, these are the AirPods Pro. Pro just means it's better. The iPhone 11 Pro or whatever model of iPhone you have, that's not necessarily like a professional phone, but it's a much better, like it's got a more camera features. It's, got all that type of thing on it, whatever. But it's not like necessarily like a massive jump. So Nintendo, I guess they could potentially be using the Pro word at the end, but it just, Nintendo I don't see them being like, oh, this is for the professional type of thing. But like you said, they do call their controllers the Pro controller, and it's the only controller they have. Apart from the Joy-Con, it's just like, this is the only normal controller you offer, and it's called a Pro controller.
I think I stand by my original thing. I think the statement to take away from it mainly is just they've already got the word Pro in their lineup, so this is just the easiest chalkboard, I guess, development name for it. It'd be quite interesting to see what happens when it does come out, because obviously we've had a lot of rumors with like the Super Switch or something along the lines of that. But I guess I'm just more curious now that the Switch is 4 years old, and that this is going to be pushed out. I know what they're trying to do. They're kind of like, well, we want something that can try to keep a pretty consistent rate on games like Breath of the Wild, as opposed to dropping in and out like Breath of the Wild typically does.
Yeah.
On PCs, Breath of the Wild plays flawlessly no matter where you go. With like all the bells and whistles, like full 4K and stuff like that. And experiencing that myself, I'm kind of like, damn, this is really pretty and I really want this, but there's no way they're going to achieve something like that on a regular Switch. So they kind of want to accentuate that and make that possible in the current Switch, I guess, lineup. But as it stands right now, I think like we will get those things, and I think they will be nice things. But I think the big curious thing at the moment is whether they will push on and sort of try to incorporate those things as a baseline in the new console, and whether that new console is going to be along the same lines of the Switch.
Yeah, for sure. I think it will be. I think it will be like a pretty good step up. Maybe not necessarily like the next console type of step up you would expect, but it definitely be like a more significant step up than say the new 3DS, for example, which was just like, oh, it's got a bit more RAM. Congratulations, you can go back to the menu in Super Smash Brothers and Pokemon Sun and Moon. That is the feature, and it's got a nice little nipple you can play with in Monster Hunter. Enjoy that, my friends. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what this thing is. We'll continue just talking about every little, I guess, bit of information that comes out just to keep people informed. But there's only so much you can sort of say on it where it's like, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure this is somewhat real. And if it's not, well, we're going to see it anyway, regardless.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so this article is also from Nintendo Life, and the title is Metroid Prime Trilogy Switch port. Unlikely, says former Retro Studios dev, and the article reads, it's another tough week for Metroid fans. Michael Wicken, the former lead designer on all three Metroid Prime games, took to Facebook to discuss why he thinks a port of the Metroid Prime trilogy isn't likely to happen. Quote, the biggest issue is that Retro Studios no longer has a functional editor tools to work with the Prime code base, so everything has to be brute force hard-coded. Rebuilding the hundreds of interaction sets in Metroid Prime 3 alone, not to mention retuning the game to take in the slower engagement pacing of conventional controls, would probably take a year with a 4 to 5 person team full-time by itself, end quote. Rumors of the re-release of Metroid Prime Trilogy have been making the rounds since at least 2018, but nothing has ever come of them. If Wiccan's testimony is to be trusted, which it likely is, as someone who is intimately familiar with all three games, then it's just a rumor and no more. Quote, I'm pretty skeptical it will happen. It was a straightforward update to Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 2 to motion controls. But converting Metroid Prime 3 to normal controls would be a Herculean... I can't pronounce it. I can't get in there, Bryce. Herculean effort. You know what I'm trying to say, though.
Herculean.
I can't even say it. I know what it is. It just won't come out of my mouth.
Herculean.
Yeah, there we go. I got it. Thank you. As it can be scripted very specifically from volumetric triggers to detect the motion in precise manners to do specific switches. And the bosses are tuned to take into account the ease of gestural aiming, end quote. It wouldn't be the first time that a port has been rendered impossible by the lack of decent archiving and preservation in the games industry either. Final Fantasy VIII was infamously not included in Square Enix releases of the old Final Fantasy games in 2018 because the masters, the original code for the game, were lost. Even the games that did not get saved in some form are still involved in having to recreate the backgrounds and character art because the art in the old games has been compressed to save space, and the HD versions have evidently been thrown away or lost. So a bit of an interesting tidbit there, Bryce. So this has been a rumor we've all been sort of hoping for. I think from a marketing perspective, it would make a lot of sense. So we have Metroid Prime 4 announced, obviously not coming out for a long time. Still not coming out for a long time. We know that development for that game has just been thrown in the bin, restarted at Retro Studios because Nintendo's sort of way of developing that game was kind of similar to what Ubisoft do with their games. They've got studios from different parts of the world all putting into the one game, but that's just not how Nintendo seems to develop their games. So they've given it to Retro Studios, and they're still, doing hires here and there, which we talk about on the show. But here we have a designer of the Metroid Prime trilogy saying that it's unlikely to happen. Now, he doesn't actually know that it's happening or not happening. He just says, like, holy shit, boys, that is a lot of work you got to do to get that bad boy the Switch. So I don't think they'll be doing that because that would be a pain in the ass and maybe not the return Nintendo's looking for. But, Bryce, what do you have to say about this?
I don't think it'd be impossible to move them to standard controls. I just think that, in terms of money, time, and effort, especially since they've already got Metroid Prime 4 on their plate and it's already been delayed and late for so long, like I could probably understand it from that perspective if we're talking about converting it to regular controls. But like if Metroid Prime 4 wasn't so heavily sort of in their focus site, I see no reason why they couldn't do it, or whether they palm it off to another team to do it. I'm not really sure. I mean, either or. I don't think it's impossible. That being said, you know, he was sort of heavily involved, so he knows the amount of effort that goes into it. But that's nothing to say that it has to be handled by Retro internally.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it could be passed on quite easily.
Yeah, there's plenty of teams at Nintendo that could potentially do it. Like, this could be done by a technical team at Nintendo America in their treehouse. They've actually...
Well, they tried to handle 4 in-house, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe they moved it there. Maybe they moved the Trilogy there instead and then gave Retro 4.
Yeah, potentially. Obviously, we got no idea, but the Metroid Prime series has been handled by... I forgot the name of the development team at Nintendo America. It was I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's basically a team at Nintendo America that just handles technical stuff. And they actually made a game called Metroid Prime Hunters on DS, which was a ton of fun. It was absolutely fantastic gameplay for the DS back in 2005 or 2006. It was just an amazing sort of feat for the DS. So
Especially since it was near launch too.
Yeah, like obviously the demo came with the DS back when it launched. I actually missed the demo. I got it a few months after launch, so I guess I got nothing with my DS. God damn it. I just had to play Super Mario 64 DS. God forbid. Playing those mini games. Blackjack with Luigi was great fun. So, Bryce, I guess that was sort of our that's how we sort of reacted to that news that, oh no, Metroid Prime Trilogy could potentially be hard and not coming to Switch. Oh dear. Is that how you might sort of expect that people might react to that type of news? Or do you reckon they might maybe react a bit differently on, say, Twitter or these social medias?
I mean, I can tell where you're going with this already. I think it's kind of unreasonable to be like too upset about it. There's more than enough options to get the game if you wanted to, especially if you go and pick up a secondhand Wii U, which there's plenty roaming in the wild for all the people that care about Metroid enough to go back and grab the Trilogy.
There's not many Wii U's, but there are plenty because no one wants them.
That's right.
So for Bryce, he's got 2. He loves his Wii U.
I do. I have 2. I have 2 Wii U's.
So yes,
I'm
Bryce.
not Scott the Was though. I don't have fucking 8.
All that YouTube money he's making, but he's spending on Wii U. I guess what else do you spend your money on?
Yeah, he loves Wii U, man.
I know.
He literally just went and bought like 8. I still regret not picking up the one that was sitting in our EB games for like $120 with Mario Maker 2. Mario Maker 2, Mario Maker 1.
Yeah, was that a new Wii U or was it?
Yeah, it was boxed, man. Yeah.
Yeah, they really wanted to get rid of it. That's it. So $120, like maybe not necessarily now because most of the games you want to play are on Switch, but at that time, like $120 going with Mario Maker and get Smash Brothers and Mario Kart 8, like you'll have a bloody blast with $200 worth of games there.
You say that, but it still lacks the one thing that it still has what the one. It still has the one thing that the Switch lacks, and that's Virtual Console.
Yeah, I guess. I guess, Bryce.
In spades.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Including Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Trilogy. I love the
Trilogy.
I can't speak either. I couldn't even pronounce Herlerkian. I still can't. Herlerkian. I don't know what's wrong with me. Herculean. Oh, shit. See, that's the thing. When I turn on the microphone, it's like, well, I can talk, but not well. Maybe we should do the podcast without actually recording it. Then I'll be actually able to maybe pronounce some things. But anyway, I'm going to jump. That was a segue, Bryce. This is another article from Nintendo Life, and it's titled "Former Metroid Prime Lead Designer Targeted with Abusive Messages." So, all right. So let's see what's going on within the Nintendo community here, Bryce. There's a bit of some bad actors within our little circle around here. So sadly, Wilkins' comments appear to have upset some people within Metroid's community. The former Retro Studios developer is now apparently being targeted with abusive messages. This information was shared by a Metroid fan website, Shine Sparkers. Quote, "We've been informed that the developer mentioned has been targeted with abusive messages directed at his personal account on social media. The Metroid community is better than this. Please be kind," end quote. As highlighted by much more reasonable fans online, Wilco never actually said the trilogy wouldn't happen. He just said he was pretty skeptical and believes it would require a lot of hard work to make it happen, especially the third game. These comments about Metroid Prime Trilogy follow on from years of rumors, Switch listings on retail websites, and insider predictions. Back in 2019, Imran Khan, who was with Game Informer at the time, said the Trilogy collection for Switch had been long done, and Nintendo was just waiting for the right moment. So, like we said before, this is just someone's opinion who worked very closely with all three games, knows them inside and out, no longer works at Retro Studios, just put his 2 cents on social media saying this is going to be maybe a bit hard and Nintendo might not be doing it. But just the response that it got from people, like, no matter what they do or say, anyone on the internet, I don't care who they are, you never send them an abusive message. You never do anything like that. It's just disgusting. And these are just this is just someone talking. Like, I don't know, abusing this guy isn't going to get the games ported to Switch. This is just some guy at the end of the day. So just no good. I think we need to do better than this, Bryce. I think you might agree.
Outrage in gaming Twitter at the moment is so rampant and annoying. It infuriates me.
Yeah.
To like all levels. Like, there was people cracking up about Monster Hunter Rise as well, and that having paid character vouchers, character edit vouchers, which World did before it. And I actually got really angry about that because I was kind of just like, I appreciate what Monster Hunter does in that it releases free content. We could pay for the updates and DLC like we have been in the past for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like going back to like Call of Duty and stuff like that, paying for map packs, which, you know, they've done away with these days and instead favor like battle pass formulas and stuff like that and microtransactions to get by so that everybody's on the same level of content. But with Monster Hunter, they were kind of like, well, we can sell these gesture packs and costume packs, and they were like, we can sell character edit vouchers. We'll give one away for free so that if they really were unhappy with their first choice, they've got a free one at least. And then after that, they can pay a small fee. And people blew up about it. Like, they went absolutely mad. And I commented on a post about it on like a meme page or something, where I'm just like, suck it up. I'm like, it's really not that bad. You know, people like other games have been doing it for years, and their immediate response is like, oh, that's not an excuse. Other games have been doing it for years. That's not an excuse. And I'm kind of like, it is though. Like, you know, why are Capcom not allowed to get away with it, but everybody else can? It doesn't make any sense. You know, they're providing you the content updates for free. You know, I would rather have them for free, and you know, have the character edit vouchers paid for. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you know what? I'll probably never use that character edit voucher anyway, because 90% of the time my hunter is going to be covered up in armor. So I'm not going to see them. It's really not going to make a difference.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I was played Monster Hunter and I set up my character, I'm like, I spent ages trying to fiddle with it and get it right. And I was just like, oh, you know what? I can't get it right. And I don't care. I'm going to put a helmet on. I'm going to put some big, like, scaly armor on. And like, yeah, that's a day. Like, I don't have to worry about it. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, these companies, they do have to make money. And like, I know that's a sucky thing to say, but if they're releasing a game and, you know, it's slowing down with its sales because the people that wanted to buy it have already bought it, you know, even if they slash the price to still get some more people in through the door, you know, the money for that game is done. And if you still want that game to continue to evolve with more content, that incentive has to come from somewhere, and that incentive is just getting some microtransactions in there. And I know microtransactions is a really dirty word, but I think in the case of like Monster Hunter, where it's like you're getting free content, you're getting like, you know, missions, and you're getting new monsters come to the game, all that type of thing. You're keeping that game alive, giving you a reason to go back in there with 3 other friends, hunt a monster, keep that sort of cycle going. And if they offer like, we got a new gesture. It's your hunter putting your hand above its head and waving to another hunter. Wouldn't that be nice? And that's like $1. Like that's really not such a big deal because you don't have to buy it. You can just play Monster Hunter for free after your $80 Australian purchase. Like it's not a big deal.
That's right. And like that was my main thing with it as well. It's just like if you get your character right the first time, cool. If you're unhappy with it a little down the line, you've got the free one and then you have to pay after that. And at the end of the day, you're covered up in armor. They've got to make their money somehow. And when I was going on this little, I guess, escapade of comments, like I was very heavily outnumbered because people are very opinionated about how they spend their $3 on a donut instead of, buying a character voucher. Anyway, and they
can't argue with that.
They were
Bryce.
like,
Donuts are great, so
they are, but I guess editing your character isn't. Anyway, but they sort of went on and rah, and they're like, oh, they already earned the money they needed to off the game. They did it when they sold the game, and I'm like, how do you guys not understand that this post-game content they're releasing requires extra work and they're doing it for free? Now, they're like, oh, that should more than cover the costs of the employees, or rah, rah, rah. I'm like, but they're a company. They don't live to create games, to sell to you, provide you with free content updates, and basically match the fees that it took to create that game and not profit. Like, they are a company at the end of the day. They aren't making you pay for the updates, which will actually keep you playing. Yeah. If they make you pay for your character edit voucher, don't really care because other things have been doing it for years anyway. And they're like, oh, but that's not an excuse. I'm like, well, then how is it ever excusable for anything else? And then they go, oh, well, it wasn't because it used to be free. I'm like, okay, but you know what wasn't free? DLC.
Yeah.
And that was required purchase if you wanted to keep playing your game with new content, and they're not doing that anymore. So you choose. You either get the content that keeps you playing the game for free, or you get this. And then they're like, well, I shouldn't have to do either. I shouldn't have to pay for either. And then I'm like, well, they're not sitting there with employees, especially in Japan. We know what their work culture is like. A team of 20-odd people working 50 hours a week, and they're not doing it. They're not doing that shit for free. They've got friends. They've got family. They've got responsibilities. A lot of it requires money, and a company is not out there to not make a profit because otherwise they don't have the budget for their next game. Yeah. So they need to do something, and people don't seem to understand that. I don't really get the thought process behind it whatsoever. Well, it's shitty.
That's the thing, Bryce. There is no thought process behind it because whenever anyone on whether it's Twitter or Facebook or whatever you're sort of going through, there's always people who are always complaining about stuff, but they don't think about it. Like complaining to this guy who isn't even working on anything to do with Metroid at the moment. It's like, why harass him? This is only an opinion.
There is no reason to.
This is only an opinion. This isn't even Nintendo saying, you know what? This is really hard. We're not doing that. It's not even that. This is ridiculous. And I think at the end of the day, just you got to keep off of social media. I personally quite enjoy Twitter, but that's because I regulate it. I keep my people I follow to a pretty small circle anyway, and if you see someone who's being a bit of a goof, being a bit toxic, just make sure you block them. Don't make sure they don't pop up again. You just gotta regulate that type of thing. I don't really go commenting on random people's stuff that much. Maybe if I was trying to encourage it, I'll see it a lot more often. But quite often I'm just like, oh look, Dane Peavy put up a picture of him and his Nintendo Switch or his family or something. Isn't that quite nice? I'll say, sweet. I'm not going to 4chan and be like, all right, boys, I'm going to stir you up. time to get you rallied up, and then you'll dox me.
I mean, my argument was pretty heated because I'm just over it. I think there's heaps of lynch mobs out on Twitter, like gaming Twitter at the moment, that just want to see everything sort of go down. They want all this free shit. They want like this and that. They're like, oh, this is anti-consumerist and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
it's rampant now more than ever. And at the end of the day, come on, guys, they're a company. They're going to make money, and there's way bigger targets out there that deserve this attention, like gacha games, for example. You know, you could. There's plenty of people that play Fate Go out there, right? And they'll gladly spend $2,000 on getting the one JPEG that they want. You know?
Yeah. Not even a PNG, a JPEG. Like, you know, I'll pay double for a PNG. That transparency is everything.
But that's the thing. It's like there's far more predatory things in gaming, and the one thing you're going to target, you know, you're gonna talk about the character edit vouchers, or you're gonna be pissed off at this guy who's not even involved with the development of a game anymore. Or, you know, like why lynch these smaller problems? Like at least target something that's, you know, causing actual problems, I think is the most important thing, because a lot of people are now looking at this and they're going, great, it's the outrage mob, don't care. And it really drives their point down.
Yeah, well, as long as they don't target us, Bryce, just keep them away from the House of Mario. Keep all the nice, positive people here, which I know everyone's a nice, positive person who listens to the House of Mario, so that's all right. That's all right.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, so let's move on. This is another article from Nintendo Life, and we just caught this one before we started recording the episode too, so this might be a bit of a fun one to discuss. So this is a rumor about the next Donkey Kong game being developed by the Mario Odyssey team, which would be pretty exciting if we did see this game. So the article reads, Donkey Kong is one of Nintendo's oldest video game characters, and while the series has seen some massive releases over the last few years, Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong 64 being two notable examples, the franchise has remained pretty dormant since Tropical Freeze, which made its debut on Wii U back in 2014 before being ported to Switch in 2018. However, the rumors that Nintendo are looking to resurrect the series by bringing it in-house, with development currently underway at Nintendo EPD, the team responsible for Super Mario Odyssey. YouTuber Lonely Goomba has mentioned the rumor in passing on social media, and other sources have also discussed it. But Nintendo Life can confirm that it has heard the same rumor from an independent and very trusted source, which would appear to lend this report some degree of legitimacy. However, our source claims that the game will be 2D or 2.5D if you prefer, and not 3D. The rumor is also backed by recent comments made by Zippo. Quote, it's the Big Ape's 40th anniversary, and while I'm not sure how Nintendo is celebrating the occasion, there is a new 2D Donkey Kong game being developed by EPD Tokyo. Retro is obviously busy with other things, so Nintendo has taken it upon themselves to bring Donkey Kong back in as an eternal series. Don't expect the country moniker to return, as EPD Tokyo are not interested in making a sequel to games they did not make. Diddy, Cranky, and the Kremlin crew should all be returning in this installment. It sounds like this game is launching before the end of the year. An E3 announcement seems very likely, end quote. Following the arcade and NES releases, as well as an excellent Game Boy outing, friggin' was, I love that game, Donkey Kong was entrusted to UK studio Rare in the 90s, which produced 3 titles for the SNES. Donkey Kong Country outings were also released on both Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. When Rare was purchased by Microsoft, Nintendo passed the property to Texas-based Retro Studios, which produced the Wii sequel, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and the aforementioned Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. So this is a big one, Bryce. This might be a big game for this year if the rumors are all to be true, which God knows, this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. This is just some information that has just come onto Nintendo Life about an hour before we started recording this. But this could be really exciting. I know, like, the Tokyo team at Nintendo that are responsible for basically all of the 3D mainline Mario games. Just, some of the most polished, fantastic, magical experiences in the whole games industry. I don't think anyone can dispute that Mario games are at least very fun and very well made. I really do love Mario Odyssey. I love 3D World and the Galaxy games. Don't have to even talk about them. They are fantastic. So seeing Donkey Kong get this type of treatment would be absolutely phenomenal. And I know that they said it's going to be a 2D game. That is a little bit disappointing. I think if they took the series back to the 3D route, where it was like Donkey Kong 64, obviously not made by Rare anymore, but I think that would be really exciting to see. But it seems like it will be the 2D or 2.5D, which we saw, with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Yeah. What would you like to see from a brand new Donkey Kong game made by internal Nintendo?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. Like the thing with Donkey Kong for me is that it's always been in a very confusing position as to where it stands. It's quite obvious that the best success Donkey Kong's ever had is in a 2D game, like without any question.
Yeah. It wasn't Donkey Kong 64, no.
No, well they've only ever explored it twice. Donkey Kong stuff in general, whether it be Diddy Kong, in different scenarios, and that is obviously Diddy Kong Racing and Donkey Kong 64, which were from, the same era, and they definitely had their quirks, and Donkey Kong 64 had its problems, but it was also a really cool game, and I think if they tried to do something like that in the modern era, it'd be awesome, and as good as like 2D Donkey Kongs are, I kind of want to see it happen again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Because like with the original Donkey Kong Country games made by Rare, like that was the first time we saw Donkey Kong sort of come to life in a brand new art style, that very futuristic looking sort of 3D that the SNES used. Was really impressive, especially back in the day. And seeing Retro Studios take hold of that franchise and bringing it to the Wii and improving the graphics, really doing some really fun things mechanically with that game, just from level to level, it just varied so much. And that game even got a sequel with Tropical Freeze on the Wii. That series has done a lot over those 5 games. So I'm kind of wondering, like, with Nintendo taking it back in-house to the team that makes Mario games, so they are some of the best developers in the whole company. I just wonder what they are thinking about doing that is different, that will move the series forward or in a different direction, but still staying 2D. I'm just really curious what they're going to be cooking up there, because like I said, with Retro Studios, they did an amazing job with the Donkey Kong Country games, but they want to do something completely different. They don't want to call it Donkey Kong Country. They want to start their own sort of Donkey Kong sub-series.
Yeah, who would know, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I think like no matter what, it's all up in the air. I would love to see something unique, crazy, fun, and maybe not just another country type game. But that can go one of two ways. Like it could go Jungle Beat, or it could go,
Jesus.
Jungle Climber or some bullshit. Donkey Kong's had weird 2D adventures. That extend like past the Donkey Kong Country games, and I think like they've done a lot to explore it, and I think especially looking at Ukulele and The Impossible Lair, which was a bunch of old Rare developers coming together and stuff like that, they really captured Donkey Kong Country vibe in that game.
Yeah, they nailed it. That was a fantastic game.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that it's something that could be uniquely Donkey Kong. I think that other games can do it as well, Donkey Kong Country stuff. But, maybe it would be nice to see a new experience in 2.5. But, yeah, I don't know. I can't shake that feeling of like there could be another attempt at 3D Donkey Kong.
Yeah. What I've been thinking about just as you've been talking, actually, like obviously this is a rumor, so we've got some information that this team is using Donkey Kong in their game, and I wonder if it's missing a bit of information that this isn't necessarily like a Donkey Kong game. This might be like a 2D platformer that involves Donkey Kong and Mario, so it might technically still be a Mario game, but also having Donkey Kong maybe as a playable character, or maybe the end boss or the main villain or something, going back to his original debut as like the villain of the game.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I think like I was saying before, like, you know, if it's just like another 2D Donkey Kong game, like what can they do with it? I'm sure the minds at Nintendo will blow us away. They'll have something which is completely different, looks completely different, a lot of fun to play, but like maybe bring back Donkey Kong to his original roots, which is the bad guy causing mischief for Mario and Paulina. That could potentially be what it is. Don't know. Looking forward to seeing what this is though.
Yeah. But I actually, now that I think about it, because there was a rumor sort of pushing around where it's like, oh, they're going to be doing more for Mario's 35th, because obviously last year was a little bit like tongue in cheek with how far it went. So there was a rumor going out there that they were going to continue something with something else, just to sort of cap off Mario's celebration. So maybe this could be it.
Yeah, and this is also the 40th anniversary for Donkey Kong, which was highlighted in this article as well.
Yeah. Interesting. Either way, I think it definitely could prove to be something to look forward to.
Yeah, because I definitely, regardless of what we just talked about, I do think there is more to this rumor. I don't think it is just, oh, Nintendo EPD is making a Donkey Kong game. Congratulations. We already have Tropical Freeze on the Switch, and now we're making another one, but instead it's a Japanese-made one, not a Texas, US-made one. So I think there is a bit more to it. All right.
For sure.
All right, so let's move on to this one. This one is a bit of fun, and this one comes from Nintendo Enthusiast, and the title is YouTuber plays Xbox Series X using a Nintendo DS. So I actually saw this on in my subscriptions. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. But let's read the article and get a bit of information out here, all the technical jargon. So in November last year, the world was blessed with the next generation consoles. Microsoft launched a powerful Xbox Series X, a console that has been regarded as the best iteration yet of its kind. It's capable of running games of up to 120 frames per second while also supporting support for 4K and blah, blah, blah. Naturally, you want to play this in all of its glory on a big screen, but have you ever wondered what it would look like if you played it on a Nintendo DS? If you wanted the answer to that oddly specific question, never fear, as a YouTube channel, The Retro Future has got you covered, which is a fantastic channel, actually. I'll leave them in the show notes. Go and check them out. All of this is made possible through the use of the Japan exclusive Agrotrusma Entertainment Nintendo DS TV tuner, an accessory that was apparently released in 2006. In order to use this device, you must use a Nintendo DS with a Game Boy Advance slot. The original purpose for the TV tuner was to allow Japanese audiences to watch a variety of TV broadcasts. However, if you are also able to utilize the device's AV cables to connect it to other inputs, the Retro Future used an AV to HDMI converter, allowing them to plug in the Xbox Series X into the Nintendo DS TV tuner. The results are impressive. However, the resolution is obviously going to be poor compared to a proper display. If you want to, if you want to play the newly released Resident Evil Village on your Nintendo DS, for some reason, it looks like it is possible, albeit maybe without sound. Unfortunately, this particular Nintendo DS TV tuner is really hard to find, so you may need to stick to playing your Xbox Series X through more conventional means.
On a TV like a normal person.
Obviously, a very interesting device, and this video, like, you can play anything on this. Doesn't have to be an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 or whatever. But it's interesting that this device actually existed, because like so many of these accessories and that, they never come to the West. It's always some random thing that's only in Japan. Like with the Game Boy Advance, there was the Game Boy Advance video where you could get like 2 episodes of Pokemon or 2 episodes of SpongeBob or whatever shows they produce, and put them on a Game Boy cart, put it into your Game Boy Advance, and there you go. You can watch those series in really blurry, tiny screens. It's just fantastic stuff. So it's kind of the same with the DS. Like I guess as a kid, I would have appreciated sitting in bed watching TV. That would have been a really novel thing. Didn't have a phone, iPad, laptop, anything like that. Didn't have a TV in my room. Dad's probably watching the news, and I'm just stuck with my DS playing Pokemon or something. And if I wanted to check out a cartoon, I couldn't. God damn it, Dad, get off the goddamn TV, you bastard. But with this, I could have. But anyway.
Dad, I want to play more Twilight Princess.
Dad, yeah, exactly. That definitely happened. I was like, you know what, I'm really keen to do this boss. And, because, my dad, he goes to bed at like 9 o'clock or so. He's a busy man. He's got to get up nice and early to run the farm. And there's goddamn Drew just been like, Dad, I want to play my Zelda. And he's like, son, I'm watching the news, mate, so I can keep up to date with the really important things in life. Like, there's this random person murdered in Adelaide. And I don't know how much relevance that has to me, but God, it makes me feel bad, and it feels like I'm going to get stabbed. But I've got to know these things, son. I've got to know these things. Then he'll go to bed and have nightmares about it, and I'm there playing Zelda. It's a bit of insight about how I became myself.
We're getting the backstory.
Bryce, you know the backstory. You lived the backstory.
That's very true. Billiam, get off the TV. We're boys that want to play a children's game.
Yes, we want to play The Legend of Zelda, one of the best series ever made, according to Anuma. Because it makes him money, because he gets a very good job developing those games since Ocarina of Time. Congratulations, Anuma.
We want to play a game where we waggle a remote in different ways to fart jokes.
Yes. Yeah, WarioWare's fantastic. Fart jokes are funny. Especially when he eats lots of garlic. And those farts are going to stink.
Oh, boy.
You know what, Bryce? We still get comments about our Wario episode, like 100,
yeah, we do.
100 or so episodes ago. Every now and again in their Discord, people are just like...
Even more.
I think it was like someone's first episode. I'm like, oh my God.
It was funny for us because it was our humor, but like...
I really enjoy it that there's just one random episode which is just like crude and dumb, and like people just randomly come across it. They might go through the backlog. They might have been listening from episode 1, However your OCD sort of treats you, do what you got to do. But man, that was a trip. Anyway, Bryce, before we get into the Red Coin recommendations, this is just highlighting the top 15 games that have sold on the Australian and New Zealand eShop for this week. So at number 1 is Among Us. At number 2 is New Pokemon Snap. At number 3 is AER Memories of Old. At number 4 is Monster Hunter Rise. At number 5 is Stardew Valley. At number 6 is Super Mario Party. That's jumped up because of that update. Good on Super Mario Party, you mediocre game, you. Number 7 is Minecraft. Number 8 is one of your favorites, Bryce, Stick Fight, the game. Congratulations, Stick Fight.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, number 9 is Hades. At number 10 is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. At number 11 is Cozy Groove, which is a game I've been meaning to check out on Apple Arcade because it's free there. At number 12 is New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. At number 13 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Super Mario 8. Number 14 is Dragon Ball Fighter Z. And number 15 is Bastion.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Fighter Z went down to a ridiculously low price for such a good game. It was like $15, I think.
Yeah, and they actually had the ultimate version with like the first season pass for like $20 or something. Like it was really cheap.
Yeah. So and it's a banger of a game too.
Yeah, and you can just see that people are, or it's not people, but like the company behind it are really just like, they've made their money on the game. They want people to get into it so they can just sell them season passes as they keep on releasing new characters. Because like just the base game itself is like, we're kind of not selling this much anymore because it's just discounted all the time across all platforms.
Yeah, but it's also the best possible solution to a Dragon Ball competitive fighting game, like because it's made by Arc System Works, which, for those who don't know, do stuff like BlazBlue, which, good shit, really good shit, good fighting game, and for the longest time, obviously, Dragon Ball's had fighting games, plenty of them, but it's been stuff like Budokai Tenkaichi, or they had an online mode with, I believe, ladders in Xenoverse, but it was, mostly unbalanced and there was no real clear-cut rule sets, and it really depended on how you customize characters. It's not something that's easy to balance, whereas with Fighter Z, it does have static move sets for each character, and they do constantly do balance updates to ensure that these things don't get too out of hand, and they do keep putting out new characters because it's a pretty fucking good game with within a series that has like plenty of desirable playable characters. So I'm really glad to see it drop down to the price it does, just so more people can buy into it, because then I can only recommend it more. If you haven't played it and you see it on special for $15 and you like your shonen, you might as well go grab it. Honestly, it's really good.
Yeah, it's been on sale like 10 times this year, and every single time I'm like, yeah, I might buy that because it's in my wish list. I'm like, yeah, I might buy that, and I just never get around to it.
Yeah, no, you should.
I should.
Definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I still remember before the TV broke and you were around here and you're just like, I never really got behind Dragon Ball Z, and we sat down and watched like the first episode.
Yeah. Because like the thing is, I quite enjoy it. I just never watched it. It wasn't on the time when I was watching Cheese TV before the bus. It was never on in that time slot I could watch before I had to go to school. I didn't have Ozstar or Foxtel or anything like that, and it just wasn't on my TV. No. And I wonder what would happen if Pokemon wasn't on. I might have been a bit upset.
Well, you got your fix. That's all you needed. You left Dragon Ball in the dirt.
Yeah, no.
Rest in peace,
I could have been
Ball.
a big Dragon Ball fan. I could have been like, I want to replicate Goku. I want to be ripped. I want to be strong. I want to go Super Saiyan. I'm just like, got abs. I'm yelling in public all the time. Being like, yo.
I want to think about food and neglect my sons 24/7.
Yeah. I think about that all the time. I mean, I could potentially still start. You know what I mean? Could potentially still start.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you in the training grounds, I guess.
Thank you very much. All right. So here at the House of Mario, when we say the doors are open, we really do mean the doors are open. The doors are literally open for people to come in, friends and family, whoever you are, come in. Let's talk about Nintendo. And at the moment, from our Discord community, Delfino Durans has jumped into a chat. Whether they actually say anything, I don't know. We've never done this before, Bryce. I'm curious to see if it works. But Delfino, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. Look at this.
Hoi hoi. Should have said
Hello.
hoi hoi.
How you going?
Hello. Well, I'm very nervous because I didn't expect this. Usually I jump in and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're streaming. And someone has to say, no, they're done. They're not streaming anymore. Like, woke up on time. I can't believe this. I'm doing pretty good. I'm done with school. I got done really, really early before my birthday even. So
happy birthday for when it's going to happen. Is it a few days or is it today?
No, it was in the past.
Oh,
It
in the
was May
past.
4th.
Well, happy birthday for then.
Yeah. So, when are your birthdays, by the way? But also, I'm just lazing around the house, and suddenly I'm like, I have all this time to play video games. So I'm having to get through my backlog of video games.
That's a fantastic time. That's the time when you don't have to think about anything except what's in front of your two eyes and when you're going to have to go to your next optometrist appointment.
Oh boy. Oh,
Is that what you think about? You're like, oh yeah, I got this party pie in front of me. I got a Super Mario 3D World to finish, and I've also got to get my glasses checked out because your frames are always broken, Bryce. You're always smashing your frames or something.
Oh, my frames are always stuffed. But like, I mean, for somebody that went to an optometrist at 23, and the dude was like, "You should have had glasses when you were like 5." I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm done for." But yeah. Anyway, birthday discussion. Mine is August 29th.
oh.
Yeah, so it's coming up soon. But mine's coming up sooner, so don't forget mine. Mine's
Yes, it
June,
is.
mine's June 14th.
That's
And
right.
what I really love about it is that it's like the same time as E3, and I don't know what time Nintendo's having their Direct or whatever they're doing at E3, but we could potentially be seeing a Nintendo Direct on my birthday, which would be very, very fitting and exciting. I'm happy about that.
It would be.
His birthday present every year.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, we probably should try and take that off this year.
Yeah. Well, that's my idea because I don't know. I can say I've got 2 reasons. Like, all right, I want to check out this Nintendo marketing that's going to be happening at the time. I want to know what they're trying to sell me, what they're trying to get me to talk about on this goddamn product we call the House of Mario and Nintendo podcast. And also, it's my birthday. I want time to eat my cake. I've got a whole day to eat a cake just by myself.
The whole day. The whole cake?
Yeah, maybe.
He will.
I better share it. So Bryce will probably come over at some point. I better share it with him. I've got to share it with my wife, Chantel. She likes cake. So there's
Oh,
I'll get in
Cake
trouble
is-
actually. Yeah.
cake's absolutely delicious. I agree. Cake over pie.
Oh, I don't know.
I
You're
can't do
talking-
pie crust. Pie crust is it's such a leftover after a while. You run out of filling. There's that whole pie layer in the back. Oh no.
Just remember, you're talking to 2 people that come from a whole island nation that praises a good old mince and gravy pie.
So yeah, I love like a mince pie. I'm not much of a dessert pie guy though.
I don't know my pie differences. What's it? I am from the US. In my region, we do have derby pie. So I got a local pie too. Infused
What's a dirty
with
pie?
bourbon. I think it's like chocolate, but it's got some bourbon in it too. Maybe.
Oh, that sounds good actually.
Ooh.
Chocolate and bourbon. That
I
actually sounds
believe.
pretty good.
Don't
Yeah.
trust me. I'm probably making it sound
Should send
really,
send-
really good.
Send us
That's
over
what
one.
I would want. A whole dirty pie. Well, when it rots in the mail, you'll
Yes.
know why.
It's just stale and all that.
Depends on
Yeah.
how much bourbon they put in to keep it proofed.
Yeah, true. They just
It's
like
also-
fill it with bourbon. It's like, yeah, that'll keep it good to us in
You
Australia.
don't pour the jug in. Everybody thinks that. It's also got nuts in it, walnuts specifically.
Oh,
Ooh.
Chocolate, walnut, and a taste of bourbon. It's not substituting water for the bourbon. It's like the hit. It's like when you throw the red wine into whatever the heck you're cooking. Just the
yeah,
flash.
yeah, true.
I mean, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You got to have that little bit of tang. Whenever I cook spaghetti or something, I have to have red wine in it, no matter what.
Oh, a bit fancy.
I'm not
Bryce.
that high class. I just put salt. I put a lot of salt in my spaghetti.
Oh no, don't worry. You're mistaking me for high class, but I literally just go to the store and pick out the cheapest bottle of wine possible and just throw it in.
You're just like slapping this
Weird.
cast into it.
Yeah. I'm not like yes, I would like to have this this
I require the
Merlot.
highest of all beverages.
I require my $80 bottle of red wine in this spaghetti.
Must be a certain brand. Else I will not
Yes.
taste it.
If it's not aged 2009, I'll be very upset.
Mm. Now you gotta further back for bourbon. I think. I don't know my alcohol. But I think bourbon is more aged back to like 25 years at this point. They'll be like, yeah, it's from 96. Like, what the heck? Who's
Yeah.
keeping it this long for this one moment?
They make a lot of money off doing that, to be completely fair.
Well, yeah, because to keep it for 25 years,
Well, I
you
mean,
better get something back.
Yeah, but let's save it for that long. It's like, all right, yeah, $10. Yeah, that'll work.
It's like they're tying it back to the House of Mario. It's like a video game that you keep pristine, wrapped for 25 years. Like a perfect copy of Pokemon Red and Blue. You bet that's gonna go for a lot of money.
I'm gonna whip back to the Blowing Carts podcast. Actually, when I was on that, we were talking about Snowboard Kids 2. Like having a Prime copy of that is like an aged fine wine. I'm gonna Google the price because I can't remember. I can't remember exactly what it was. But oh my god, it is so expensive to buy a copy of that game.
Rare games are getting so expensive. One I didn't realize until I had to look it up was Chibi Robo. I got it when it was like brand new for Christmas one year. I was very excited to play it. And I always wonder, why does no one know about Chibi Robo? It's such a good game. It's got great cast of characters. I love it. And I look into it and it's like, oh, because if you want to play it, you got to pay like $200 for the box. Not even the game. Oh, there's someone else in here.
Oh my god. Look at this.
Look, look, I've got...
Oh, it's WackoJacko. We forgot to shut the door. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Yee, sorry, I'll leave.
No.
No, stay.
No, we're fine.
So,
okay. I'm confused because I've got the live stream on and I'm hearing two voices. Okay.
Close the live stream, damn it. Snowboard Kids 2 pre-owned, no box, game by itself in Australia is worth $399 for the cartridge.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to own that game. It's ridiculous.
It's not cheap at all.
No.
What's it? Well, speaking of inflating game prices, maybe you already talked about this episode. I'm a little behind on episodes. DS game prices are seriously inflating recently. And I was like, yeah, I'm in the clear. I've got all the DS games I want to own. I got Ghost Trick. I don't need to play the Ace Attorney games on DS because I can just get those mobily. It's all fine. And I'm like, oh no, I never got Pokemon White 2 because every time I'd see it at GameStop or wherever for like $30, I'd be like, I'm going to sit on it. I'm not going to get it right now. And I look into it now. They're like, yeah, an authentic copy because apparently there's such things as reproduced copies of DS games, and those are absolutely nuts because it's like you just put the data into a micro SD card and you stick that into a DS readable format, and people just go nuts with those. It'll be like 2-in-1. You can get Black 2 and White 2. 3-in-1, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, all in one game. 23-in-1 for every Pokemon game on DS. It gets to astronomically crazy numbers. I had a picture. I'll send it over.
They
I want to play the real game, please.
They purposely like with those like 2-in-1 / 3-in-1 games, basically it is just an R4 cartridge with a stuck-in micro SD card that has been like sealed in, and they purposely market it like that to be like, oh, Pokemon 2-in-1 or Pokemon 3-in-1, so they can get more money out of it instead of just buying like the actual R4 cartridge and doing it yourself. Like they make money off the name. They make the excess money off the name. And it's like really, really scungy. Like
so scungy. It's like I just put a picture in the general chat room about one I was looking into, and I'm like, I don't trust this thing to be put in my DS. This feels like it's malware.
Just give it a virus or something like that.
482 in one.
What?
Not just one game, guys. Not two games, but 482 in
482. And it's like, I also put a little bit of the promise. I say promise because it's never going to fully pay off. the promised games list. And it's like some of these are like, well, I already own a lot of these. And some of these are good. And then you look in there and it's like Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. Like, okay. That seems to be
That's interesting because
in here
like
too.
the R4 market, like just like DS piracy, even back when the DS was still like the relevant handheld, it really was affecting them in like a pretty negative way. And it's kind of weird now just seeing the carts reproduced and having the R4s just sold as like 182 in one kind of combos instead of actually like putting on the ROMs yourself.
Mm-hmm. What the heck? Cappy's saying he has the 482 in one.
Yeah, that's what I was just reading. He
I was
has
about to
that
make the
one.
joke. I have the one out of the 482, but
Oh my god. I don't
Bro,
I don't
no.
get it. Like
I don't trust it.
where's
I
the
don't-
Nintendogs? I don't see Nintendogs.
It
Nah,
might be in
not
there.
buying it then.
I could
Not buying it. Not buying it.
it's dead.
find this.
It has
Fine.
Children of Mana though.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, well.
I don't know. Children of Mana, that would make me buy that.
But guys, Yoshi Touch and Go. Don't you remember that game? Because I sure
Yoshi.
don't.
Yoshi Touch and
Oh,
Go was
God.
just like pretty much a tech demo that got released in the launch lineup of the
Yeah.
DS, where you basically just
Yeah.
it's just a score chasing game when you're floating as Baby Mario when you're trying to avoid stalks and that in the air. It's pretty a basic touchscreen game.
Mhm.
I was thinking about that one, but I
It's like
get it.
There was actually like a lot of little trash games like that for Yoshi. I don't know what
Yoshi
what
cookies.
exactly it was. Yeah, like Yoshi's Cookie, and that's right. And the one the one we had an argument about of whether it was on NES and SNES and turned out to be on both.
Yeah, it was just on both. Oh, fair enough. I really
We
did.
had an argument about it on the podcast.
I really
SNES
didn't.
was more coloured, I think. From
Yeah,
memory.
I really didn't
Yeah.
remember it
Yeah.
being on Super Nintendo. I'm like, oh, well, there you go.
No, it was on both.
So, guys,
Yeah, no, we hated.
I feel like let's move away from some of this the piracy talk and let's talk about some games that you can buy on Nintendo Switch this week. And to be honest, there's no real bangers, but let's move into the House of Mario Red Coin recommendations. All right, guys. So the first one of the three that I've picked out randomly is Skate City. And the little bio we got here. Look, this game looks alright. It's 28% off. It's for $14 on the Nintendo eShop. And the little blurb reads, "Your perfect ride worldwide. Coast through three iconic locations based off real-world skate spots in Los Angeles and Barcelona. Pull off realistic tricks with ease and skate just like the pros. Hundreds of combinations are available, including flip tricks, grabs, grinds, spins, and manuals. Complete over 100 challenges or chill out and ride at your own pace with Endless Skate. Customize your skater by picking up a new deck, trucks, wheels, shoes, hats, glasses, and clothes in the skate shop. You can also change your hairstyle and skin tone or unlock new moves and upgrade your abilities. Original soundtrack of lo-fi beats. So exciting game there, guys.
Yeah.
Does that get anyone's attention? Skate City.
All I want to do is go around and say, "Hey, go check out my deek." That's all I want to say. I don't know why.
I am always interested in any game that offers customization, not because I want to be the character themselves, but I want to customize the character. I want to see what else they can wear. I noticed in 3DS games, pretty much all of them were all about like, oh, look, it's customization time. It's like, yeah, I'm going to create someone fun to farm with, not myself. Like in Harvest Moon New Beginning, I'll make someone fun and cute to farm with, not myself.
What was the
I have
game?
a
again?
question.
Was it?
Harvest Moon: A New Beginning.
Oh no, sorry, the skateboarding game. Sorry.
Skate City. So Delfino,
Okay.
you're not necessarily interested in skateboarding, but you do like to change your snazzy helmets and snazzy hairstyles. You do enjoy that.
I love wardrobe options in games. It is so stereotypical that the girl would want to dress up pretty, but it's like I'm in any game. But it is very true. Sorry, I succumb to the stereotype. It's like Mario Golf. I'm like, oh, Mario Golf is Mario Golf, not for me. And they're like, no, we have new golf outfits for everybody. And I'm like, all right, where's the pre-order button? I need to get this game right now.
You can put Yoshi in a nice hat.
I can give him a hat. I can give Toad a little beret. Bowser's got an outfit. Everyone's got new looks. I love it.
You strike me as a person that if they aren't already, you would be very addicted to MMOs. Because that's all that happens in the MMO endgame is dressing up pretty.
Maybe.
That's where I spend a lot of my time doing that.
Yeah,
Sketchy actually looks really nice, like a nice art style, like a bit away from your traditional skateboarding looking games. Like I'm looking at some screenshots. It actually looks really nice.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah,
does,
like grungy.
Does look pretty cool. I'll keep it on my wish list. But yeah, I do get hooked into customization as well. Like in Pokemon, like Sword and Shield, and even back to X and Y when they introduced it, I really did enjoy the customization of doing your trainer and putting on like different shoes, different pants, all that type of thing. So I'm a bit of a sucker for it as well. It's just when it's not done well and you like sort of like I can't make what I want to make. That's when it gets a bit frustrating. But anyway,
Dead on.
all right. So the next game, guys, out of 3 is Techno Tanks, and I picked this out because I don't know, it's called Techno Tanks. It sounds kind of cool. It's a very slow week this week. There's not much coming out, but you get this for $7 Australian. And let's see if I can sell you guys on this, or the developers from what they have written on the eShop here. So Techno Tanks is an intense, fast-paced, arcade-inspired tanks game. It's a lot. It's a lot of fast fun and must-have if you enjoy arcade games. So be ready for Techno Tanks experience. Defeat the enemy tanks while dodging their deadly bullets. Improve your aim and maneuver skills while surviving a crazy retro bullet hell. Level by level, the enemy's tanks get faster, smarter, and deadlier. Can you defeat them all? Play alone.
Okay.
Together.
Okay, one thing I want to say is I'm looking at the screenshots, and you remember the tanks game from the Wii Play game?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
It's like that. It looks exactly like that, but obviously with a more techno theme. But yeah, it looks splittingly similar.
All right. It does. It does. Well, the techno sort of aesthetic is really. It looks quite nice, the actual aesthetic of it. But before you interrupted me there, bloody WackoJacko, I tell you what, mate. I haven't gotten to the best bit yet. So you can play. You can play alone, together with friends, or against your friends, as the game features the following modes: a single-player stage mode, single-player and co-op retro mode with more than 50 levels, and a versus mode for battles up to 4 players. So drop the mic right there, bang. There's 3 features for you right there. Have I sold you on this? $7 Australian. Don't know how much it is for you, Delfino. Maybe $5. I'm not quite sure.
It's $5 USD.
$5 USD. Well, thank you very much for that confirmation. So, guys,
Yeah.
Techno Tanks, are we in or are we out?
No. Because I am not in the arcade game.
What were we talking about?
You know that game with the tanks and the techno thing?
You
No.
know, like the old
Thing
game.
with the tanks and the tanks?
I might have zoned out.
That's fine. There's something about tanks and techno, and there was a bunch of modes and stuff like that.
So we did not sell Bryce. We did not sell Bryce.
No, you absolutely didn't.
Oh,
But like, it's $6.99, which is cheaper than $7. No?
yeah, it was
Okay.
a cent,
Like the
it's a
amount of
cent
money I
cheaper.
would put into an arcade game before I'd get angry because they're so cutthroat and hardcore. I am not a hardcore gamer.
Dun,
I
dun, dun.
know. I can't believe it.
All right,
The
Delfino.
truth does come out.
We'll try
Did
and
we even talk about Miitopia last week? I don't think we did.
Oh my gosh, I am so
The faces! The
debating
faces!
Miitopia so much. I am so proud of what people are doing in Miitopia, but I almost think we're losing the charm of making a character in Mii creation. Like, I like the Marina that I made for Tomodachi Life to look most like her. Yes, the hand-drawn mask does look the most realistic, but also you're losing emotions with the mask. That is the one drawback to the mask feature in Miitopia.
I
Look, all right.
I quite like it. It's one of those games where like it made so much sense on the DS because you transfer all your Miis from the Wii. You can scan QR codes to bring in other people's creations from the internet. And I had like 100 plus Miis on my 3DS, but on my Switch, I literally have none. Like in Mario Kart, I'm just a generic dude because I haven't actually made myself as a Mii. I haven't bothered. So it kind of takes. It's a lot of work to go and put all of this stuff into your Switch if you actually want to play Miitopia. But we'll talk about it when it comes out. It comes out on the 21st, I believe. So it's not out quite yet. It's just the demo that's out at the moment.
Yeah, just about a week away. No, I agree. Miitopia, it felt like the natural evolution of Tomodachi Life because I love Tomodachi Life, but there's a common problem with it, which is you don't control every little thing about the island, like whether people get together, become sweethearts, become married if they divorce. That isn't really in your control. You can kind of influence it, but not really. And people were like, I want more control. And Miitopia was like, yes, you can have more control. You decide who rooms together in the inn, so you automatically make the friendships better. More colors, so you don't have to rely on the hair dye for everybody. And also you could just transfer, if you had Tomodachi Life save data on that 3DS, you could transfer the Miis directly over from Tomodachi Life into Miitopia. But Miis are very hidden away on the Switch. My two dying wishes for the Switch. First is themes, please.
Yeah.
We please get the 3DS themes back, but for the Switch. And two, clearer Mii customization because it's hidden away in the settings menu. Like make a little bubble at the bottom maybe for me. I think that would get more people to A, realize that the Mii function exists, and B, like embrace the new Mii functions because they did add more to the Mii Maker. They added new glasses. They did not add new hairstyles, but they added like any hair color, any eye color. There's more to it, but people just aren't tapping into it because it's hidden away.
Well, they used the Mii Maker to make Breath of the Wild NPCs. So
that's right.
I heard that too.
Yeah, they did. So basically what they did was they had Miis, they made generic Miis or whatever, and then they imported them into Breath of the Wild and then used Breath of the Wild's particular meshing and stuff like that to sort of just generate characters that were in the world. They didn't like go there and specifically rig like all these people or what have you. They kind of just went, all right, here's the Mii creator. We've got a very simple cel-shaded style here. Let's just import Mii data and make faces with relative ease. So that's exactly what they did. Yeah.
An easy way to make those, what are they called? The like AI generated faces without them being terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it.
I stick with it. But anyways, I'm very excited for Miitopia, but the third thing I am dying for is for Miitopia to say you can transfer your save data over from the 3DS version into the Switch version because I spent a lot of time playing Miitopia and I don't think I can restart my save data, even though there's a horse in this one. I'm very excited about the horse.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a horse.
I honestly wasn't very interested in it. I never played it on 3DS either, but just seeing the stuff come out from the demo was really cool. Like people are like recreating like Mega Man and like with his helmet and everything. I'm like, holy crap, that looks really cool.
I absolutely love it. The best way I can describe it is like Dragon Quest IX. Have either of you played that one?
Yes, I have.
I have not.
Okay, so for Bryce. Basically, in Dragon Quest IX, you aren't given set characters for your RPG. You make them up. You decide what they look like. You decide what their class is. And the point of it was when the DS online capabilities were online, you could share them with other people. And then you could also import other people's adventurers and add them to your team. And it was like mix and match. But basically, you make the team that you want to make. If you want to make it all offense, if you want to make it all defense, half and half. The chef class is really good about the hybrid melee hybrid saying hybrid a lot. Anyways, basically, you can make your own team there. It's not like, there are some fill in the role things, like the evil lord, you gotta fill in who they are. But also, when it comes to your adventuring squad, you can also change their job classes. I think this might be something you have to unlock later. I don't remember the details. Basically, you can just change them however you want. So if you're running mage, which you should always run mage, and you're thinking this isn't really working out, you can change yourself to chef and be just as well off. It's really inventive, and also the healing system was really fun. There's no potions. You can stop the battle at any time. You got a whole set of sprinklers, like salt and pepper shakers. And you specifically sprinkle how much you want everybody healed at whatever point you need. It is
That's so
very
weird.
good. It's very good, but the drawback to that is that you only get one revival shaker. You can only shake it once a adventure, because you got to rely on yourself to not die. You got to keep on top of that stuff.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I loved Miitopia, but I don't know if I can start over again. I got too invested in my squad from before. I feel
At
like
the
I'm
end of
just
the
gonna
day,
pick up
there's only one thing I want from Miitopia.
What's that?
That's to get a Dio Brando face that is literally just him going, "You just, hi,
Oh,
Dio!"
yeah. That's gonna be very easy. You can also look up if you want to find a Mii, you can look up its name. Sometimes if you're getting too many, you
Should
can
be a
kind of
database,
fine tune
right?
it and be like, I want this gender Mii. I want them to have this set behavior, this hobby. And it's really easy to find what other people have made. What I remember from playing it was there was a lot of Undertale. Everyone was loving Undertale, so I'd be running around and they're like, we want to make this person papyrus, and you're like, no, and you hit the button and they're like, okay, we'll make it Undine. And it's like, no, I need something different. You just gotta mash the button until you get a suggested me that you're like, okay, fine, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I found it. I found what I was looking for. Continue to
I got the
discussion.
Reggie me. I just wanted this genie to be Reggie, okay? How many times did I have to hit the button to get the Reggie me?
Oh,
I
Reggie.
think I had to load up my own Reggie me for that, because I couldn't get one. to pull
Reggie
up.
definitely has to be in there somewhere.
He has to be. I made him the genie.
Along
He
with
played
Barack
the game.
Obama. People had the Barack Obama one as well.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That's really cool. I haven't heard someone been so like passionate and excited about Miitopia. That's really cool.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I really, really liked Miitopia. It just felt like the natural, here's a bit more what you can do with the Tomodachi Life people. And also just a really solid RPG in general. Each class has their ups and downs. Each behavior has its ups and downs. So there's no definitive best team to run. You just run the team you want to run.
Yeah. Yeah, because like to be honest, like it's coming out in I guess it's a bit over a week. But it's sort of like it wasn't really on my radar, but I'll definitely try and check it out to at least talk about it to people that might be considering it, I reckon.
Yeah, check out the demo. There's a demo out for it, so
Yeah,
you could put
I have
yourself in. You could have
I've
Bryce
downloaded the
be
demo.
the second runner.
I've
I will
downloaded it. I haven't
provide
played it.
my Mii if you would like. I have a Mii all set up and ready to go. I'm ready. My
Yeah.
body is ready to play Miitopia.
My body is literally Reggie. It's my me.
It is Reggie. He is the leader of the bunch. Metadox is saying
I don't-
things in the chat.
Got no idea what Matt is saying.
Look at
He's
it.
saying gibberish.
おお、もかてころのか、にくつにこのディオに、しずくすくころのか。I have no idea what I just said, but I
I
said
don't
it.
know. It sounds like crocodile, but that's not heart.
I'll just do my best JoJo impression. That's all I tried to do.
Yeah. That's the only one I know.
Oh.
Jotaro.
Oh, Joe.
Quickly, check, move on quickly.
Gio! Oh, Jotaro.
Oh god.
Okay, look, I've only just started watching it.
Together.
I've only just started watching it, so I'm only just like getting the hype behind it.
I have not watched it.
So what are you actually talking about? I got no idea. What you're-
Jojo's
Stars
the
of
bizarre
Vengeance.
adventure. Yeah.
Right.
It's
Okay.
the
Bizarre
must-watch show that the kids are talking about these days.
Oh, the kids. I gotta keep up with the kids.
Isn't part 6 coming soon? Actually, I heard that.
I don't know.
Yana.
It's so strange, but it's interesting to watch. I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's
I
weird.
describe it as art in
It's
motion.
bizarre. I think it's bizarre. It's in the name. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. It's in the name.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but like, I don't know. It's yeah.
It's art in motion.
It's grabbed me. It's grabbed me. I don't know what about it, but it's grabbed me.
What can we watch it on?
Report back.
Netflix actually.
Netflix. Cool.
Oh, is it on Netflix?
And Crunchyroll probably, yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
The first 2 parts are on Netflix. And then the rest is on Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll is free, by the way. I had to clarify that to somebody. Then I was like, you could watch it on Crunchyroll. And they're like, I just don't have the money to spend. I'm like, no, it's free.
Yeah,
You can pay for ads, or if you really, really need to watch
And
a new
simulcast.
episode. Like right now, Tropical Rouge is the best. So my sister and I are subscribed to Crunchyroll just so we can get that episode like an hour after it's done, and we don't gotta wait the week.
I want
Good
Verve
for
here.
new stuff.
We don't
Yeah.
have Verve.
No.
very
VOV
upsetting.
is pretty good, but I feel like it's been losing some shows. It had a lot of Nickelodeon, but then Nickelodeon packed up and moved to Paramount Plus.
Oh,
That
that's
is a whole other discussion to have, the streaming platform situation, because at this point it is getting severely inflated, and I'm wondering when streaming services are going to start merging together.
Because I just want to watch.
Speaking of-
I just want to watch the new Pokemon series, but it's not on Netflix in Australia, and it's just so frustrating. I got to get I got to
No,
get a
Sun and
VPN.
Moon is, though.
Yeah.
You know where you can watch them, but people forget? You can watch them on Twitch on the Pokemon anime channel. There's
Oh, that's
literally,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can literally go on there and watch any episode that they're currently streaming.
Oh, Pokemon
Yeah.
Journeys.
I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about, because they got like the first season and
That's
stuff
the newest one.
on Netflix. It's just not the Pokemon Journeys, the brand new stuff.
Man, Pokemon Journeys, I have a love-hate relationship with that show, because it's like we're not stuck in a region, so we can go wherever we want, cover whatever we want, all sorts of regions. We can highlight certain trainers when we want to. It's all good. I'm like, yeah, this is great. We really should have done this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Because it seems like at this point that it's almost like, oh my goodness, look, the Talo. It's this new Pokemon. I bet you can get it in your game right now. And you look to your Sword and Shield Pokedex, and you're like, no, I can't.
Yeah, Game Freak and the
It really
animation
did come
team did
in a-
not talk to one another.
It came at a
no.
very awkward time. Because I like that they can go like wherever they want, and that the people they are showing are more accurate to their video game counterparts. I don't know. Creative liberty is fun, but also they just go a little nuts. Like, are we ever gonna see Omega Ruby people? Are we ever? I don't think so.
No.
Or Heart Gold and Soul Silver people. We might be seeing them with Journeys. And I do love the exploration. Like that they'll be in Kanto, and then they go to Sinnoh, and they'll be in Kalos, and they go to Unova. I really like that, but it came at a very awkward time for them to market the Pokemon when you can't get those Pokemon in everything. Granted, you can get them in Pokemon Go, but that's like different.
Yeah, that's the problem, because like I'm a shiny hunter, right? So in Sword Shield, we're
Oh, no.
limited to a certain amount. So like I had to buy Omega Ruby so I can get all the ones that I need to
Yeah.
get. And
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
it's
I
so
remember that
like
post.
yes, yes.
You gotta invest. Listen, if you're a dedicated shiny hunter, you know what
I
you're
am.
getting into.
I know.
Time to
Don't
invest.
worry. I knew I was getting in as soon as I started going for the living bug decks. It's like bugs are my favorite type. So I'm like, I'm gonna get every shiny bug, and then I'm like, stuff it. Why am I just going for bugs? I should just go for all of them. So that's like, well,
What's your plan for Genesect?
event. Hopefully, I can hack an event Pokemon or something. I don't know.
Oh, you cheating bastard. No
Oh.
hacking around here.
Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah, true.
Very true.
Hey, if people are listening to me, hit me up with a remote raid invite, please, because I don't get anyone inviting me to Genesis
what-
raids.
Genesec's not in
is
rotation at the moment anyway, but
No, that's true. That's the other
We're
point.
finally the raids were on hold for a whole year. First of all, where the heck did EX raids go? I know exactly where they went, but I'm just saying,
That
where'd they go? I
They
miss
went
them.
Yes. Anyway.
All right,
But
guys.
it's actually just quickly.
Just quickly.
Just quickly.
Just-
It's interesting that they're allowing certain shinies only in Pokemon Go as compared to mainline games.
That's very awkward when they're like,
Yeah.
check it out. This one's a shiny now. Goldeen is shiny. It's like,
Yeah.
great.
Well, they want it just for like the marketing, but like here
Exclusive.
is a brand new Pokemon. It's exciting. There's no shiny. Fans are all right. You catch that Pokemon, you evolve it. You've had your fun with it. Then 6 months later, this Pokemon is now shiny. So every single Pokemon in the Pokédex gets basically 2 big hits that Niantic and Pokemon Go and Nintendo can be like, all right, this is a reason to come back to the game. Because like if your favorite,
Woot, please. Your favorite is a shiny now.
so
Like,
yes,
why wasn't it always?
Just newsflash, Shiny Gibble Community Days coming up, so yeah.
yeah. There's a Swablu
News.
Community Day at the end of this week too.
Oh,
Smooth.
thanks for the reminder.
Reminder for everyone.
I am asleep on Pokemon Go.
Ah, fair enough.
I'm waiting for that mysterious Pikmin game. That's where my energy's going.
Oh, you're gonna be walking around bloody patting Pikmin and throwing the purple one at your mate, and they're like, oh, and they go.
That's what I do in Bingo Battle. That causes people to hate me.
All right. Because of that tangent, what we'll do is we'll wrap up the show and we'll continue discussion from there.
All right.
Okay.
So, Bryce,
Yeah.
I'll try and sell everyone on this third game before we wrap things up.
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about the third game.
We all did. Don't worry about that. But look, this is a banger, ladies and gentlemen. This game is called Ninja Epic Adventure. It's $5.09. It's 15% off from $6. Everyone get amongst this. It's an epic adventure. It'll get you so excited. So their blurb on the eShop reads, help your ninja buddy and his pals go through 4 worlds and 36 levels in this side-scrolling arcade platformer game. Defeat monsters, collect coins, and unlock weapons and new characters. Main features include 4 worlds, 36 levels, 4 boss fights at final level. Fair enough. That makes sense. There's a boss fight at the final level. So nice sounding graphics. Shop system using free coins gained through playing to unlock new characters and collect items. So that's nice they put that there. Actually, there's no microtransactions in this goddamn $5.09 game. Hit blocks.
Oh, thank God for that.
Hit blocks to release random items. Special bullet range attack. Addictive jump and run platformer / obstacles runner.
Yeah.
Side scroller gameplay with easy controls. Enjoy.
One of the characters is a monkey.
There is, yeah. So,
It's a cowgirl.
guys, how would you describe this? Yeah, there is. How would you describe the screenshots you're looking at to the audio listeners at the
It's a
moment?
Mario ripoff. I can see
It
parts
looks like a mobile game.
Hang on, what was it called again?
Ninja Epic Adventure.
Ninja
It's a
Epic
Mario
Adventure.
ripoff. It's just a Mario ripoff, but with Ninja
I have to have a
and
look. All right.
yeah.
Oh my God, my router. Stop it. My router. No, actually, it's my phone.
I think
My
you should say
phone.
the notice on this is that the sale ends on the 9th of 6th.
Whoa, that looks extremely bootleg.
Yes, extremely. Extremely.
So what do we got? We've
It
got Sun Wukong the Monkey King.
Yep.
We've got.
Ninja Gaiden
What?
Ninja.
Is that Ninja Gaiden Ninja?
No, not really. I'm just saying this for fun.
No.
It just looks like a weird, like generic.
No, it's
movie.
Naruto. Come on,
One of the
Wacko. Get
enemies
with
is
it.
I'm sorry, I'm not educated. One of the enemies is a snail.
No,
A
you're
very,
anime.
a very unamused snail.
I'm not an
No,
educator.
it's like a educate yourself. One looks like these enemies look like clip art. If I'm going to be very frank.
Yes,
Oh,
I
they
agree.
probably are. They're probably free to use clip art.
Now,
It's only a one-player game. It's a single-player game.
yeah, so I know you guys are really keen to get this, but this might actually persuade you a little bit. It doesn't support cloud saves, guys. No cloud saves.
Oh
Can't-
my God.
Yeah, so we could.
This is a huge blow to the community.
So yeah, don't worry about it, guys. Save your $5.09. No cloud saves.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
No, don't bother. Don't bother.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us for episode 186 of the House of Mario. Thanks for coming in. Like we say,
No
the
worries.
doors are always open, so come on in. WackoJacko, Delfino Durans, you're always welcome on the House of Mario.
No
Thank you
worries.
so much.
Sorry for interrupting.
You weren't interrupting. It's fine.
Fair
We had to
enough.
fill time, damn it. We needed content.
Okay, you're welcome. If you need content, I can always give you too many words.
That's fine.
I already get too many bloody words from Bryce, Jacko, so I don't know about that.
No,
mate.
hey,
We need more
okay. No.
words.
Okay.
You say that, but then when
Mm.
you have a tangent, I don't get to press the stupid goose button.
No,
love
you
that-
don't.
The goose button.
That's
You guys
Mike.
do a
Yeah.
good job because
That's-
even last week's episode, you were arguing against yourselves. I'm like, this is brilliant content.
Oh, bloody hell. I can hear Bryce from my bloody house here.
Oh, there's the goose.
Oh,
There's
fuck
the
off.
Um,
Go away.
goose. Does the goose have a name?
Bryce.
Gerald.
Oh,
that. Okay, this is completely off topic. That reminds me, yesterday I saw a bunch of Canadian geese on the way home from a restaurant, and they had little ducklings. I gotta.
Oh,
so cute.
Let me get the photo. They were
That's-
adorable.
that's
Don't
wonderful.
let Drew get a hold of him. He'll call them Bryce, Bryce Jr., Bryce Jr., Bryce Jr., Bryce Jr.,
Our
And
junior,
Bryce
senior,
And Bryce said,
senior, junior.
Senior, Junior, 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 Junior.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can see it happening now.
I tell you what, Bryce, if you see the live stream that's been running for the past 2 hours, this has been a very long setup for this joke. So, anyway. Anyway, guys, if you enjoy the show, you can find us over at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to follow us there. And if you want to support the show, you can also leave us a review on your podcast player of choice. You can find me at iDruby, and you can follow the show at the House of Mario. Bryce can be found at IV Revan. And Delfino,
Yeah, that's right.
where can they find you? If
Yeah.
anyone wants to check out your
Well,
work, or
I do have a YouTube channel. It's Delfino Durians. There's a space between Delfino and Durians. And actually, well, can I market myself a little bit?
that's exactly what you can do.
May I market myself? I'm getting silence.
no pressure.
I'll take. Okay, well, my sister and I are gonna be making a podcast soon. So
Oh,
the episodes will be uploaded there.
excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what the podcast is going to be called?
Nah.
Well, audio's cutting out for me. Dang it!
Oh.
What is happening?
Don't stress.
That's all good. That's
Maybe it's
Discord
got a
for you.
cursed name. It's got a cursed name, maybe.
Worse. Anyways, it is gonna be titled the Pastel and Peach Super Show Saga.
Oh,
Watching
cool.
video game TV shows. And regretting doing so immediately after.
Ooh.
Guests are very welcome, by the way.
Ooh, I want that. I want to listen to that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Thank you.
We
Yes,
discussed Zelda cartoon last week actually
Oh,
because
yes. That was brilliant. I love
Yeah.
I have not caught up with the podcast, so I'll have to listen.
yeah,
But
listen to last week's because there was actually the somebody that worked on it come out and commented about it. But yeah, anyway, continue what
really?
you were saying.
was it Bob Forward? Was it Bob Forward?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that dude's been pretty talkative about his experiences. Anyways, but yeah, we are gonna be skipping the Super Mario Bros. Super Show and the Zelda cartoon because my other favorite podcast. I'm sorry, you guys aren't my favorite podcast. You're my second favorite. I'm sorry, no, but my number one favorite podcast recently ended because
Oh.
they had watched the Super Show and they did Zelda and they were dabbling into Mario 3 and then they're like, this is terrible, we hate this, goodbye. And it's like, no, we got to continue it on. So we will be continuing it on. Episodes will be weekly. I don't have a date yet for you. That's still in the air. But episodes will be coming out weekly just on YouTube. I'm not doing the Apple Podcast, Spotify hullabaloo. It's just going out on YouTube.
Fair call.
It'll be audio based. Yeah. Anyways, guests are extremely welcome. So please come on. We got to talk about
Yeah.
Mario 3. That's the one we're doing first.
That sounds
I've watched
awesome.
through all of that too.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So we'll definitely have you on again, and you can shout out yourself again once it's up and running.
Once it's
Thank
live.
you so much.
Yeah.
Also,
Absolutely.
in the general chat room in the House of Mario Discord, I've got the pictures of the duckies.
Oh,
They are adorable. I couldn't believe I saw them in person. It was so good.
Wouldn't it be weird if we saw Canadian geese in Australia? That
Yeah.
would be weird, I would think.
Would make
Nah,
much-
nah.
No,
They're part of the Commonwealth. It's fine.
Oh, true.
What about
point.
you, WackoJacko? Where can they find you?
You follow me on Twitter, WackoJacko. The O on the end is a 0, and I got a shiny timber 59 minutes ago. The end.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just a sad shiny hunter, and
Yeah, you're unamused at this point. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
over finding shiny Pokemon. They're not
Yeah.
even exciting me anymore.
I mean, it's kind of like I've finally figured out what being a shiny hunter really is now, and it's just like, yeah, I just gotta stick to it. You just gotta once you start, you just can't. You gotta, pace yourself. Make sure that you're taking necessary breaks to keep your mentality normal.
It sounds like when you're taking a very high dosage of some sort of medication.
Well, my
Like, you
medication.
get easily addicted to it, and then it turns into taking huge amounts is doing nothing for you because you've too hooked on it.
Well, my medication currently is a very good one. I go to see my baby daughter in hospital, so yeah, seeing her really makes my day. So yeah.
Oh, well, that's just a dopamine medication.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
we all need in our lives.
Yes, correct.
Woo!
So yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. So for what might be the longest wrap up we've ever had, which was very, very fun, very enjoyable. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah,
No worries. Thank you for leaving the door open.
No worries.
Yes, I was like, I don't want to intrude, and you're like, come on in.
You might want to lock it next time. Just heads
Yeah,
up.
we'll see.
Put a
So,
code on it.
well, I've got to be honest, guys. I'm about to shut the door. You can either get out, or
All right.
you can sleep on the couch or something. I'm pretty easy. Just
Yeah.
don't take the master bedroom. That's where I sleep. Bryce
fine.
occasionally comes in for a snuggle, but he usually has to go back to his room as well. So there's nothing too sexual.
Look, mate, it gets
going on
cold
there.
in the basement when you leave me.
Do you mind if I sleep on the carpet floor downstairs?
I mean, you're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Oh,
Am I allowed
weird
to-
that you had
can
to
I-
clarify that. It
Yes, can I
wasn't
s-
intentionally obvious.
It's
I'll
full.
just bring my sleeping bag and swag. It's fine.
It's full of Yoshi hair, so maybe don't do that. It's a bit gross.
You got a
Emphasis
blow
on
up by
hair.
chance?
Yes,
You
Yoshi
gotta blow up
hair.
then.
Yeah. Anyway, guys,
Yoshi hair.
the doors
Yoshi's reptile.
to the House of Mario are closed.
Shut the doors.
Catch you later.
Bye.
You just slapped the door in my face, and I'm really offended.
Ow, my toe.
All right, thanks, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, that was.
Very fun.
Question: How frequent do you planning on do this, like things like this, where you open the door?
Don't know. We'll see how this turned out. I think it was fun. Hopefully, it's fun from a listener's perspective as well. Sure, it will be.
I don't want an episode that gets very long because I'm very chatty.
You are.
I think
great.
we do. I think we do really want to work on the Twitter Live thing when it eventually becomes available.
Yeah.
Like
The spaces.
to everyone. Yeah, that's the one. Because that's really efficient and it's not hard to get into. But like in cases of like this week, I'm too busy to get out of the house and I got to look after the kids.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of like, all right, we'll just record in Discord and then, it's open to anyone then too. Not really phased.
Yeah, we put it in the recording room so people could just jump in, like you guys did. so-
Yeah. We're not all that fussed at all.
No. South Australians usually aren't, are we? We're pretty chill.
Yeah, we're pretty chill. I mean, like we've been doing this for quite some time now, and I think like we're pretty comfortable with just whatever happening. To be honest, I don't think like we do like structure and stuff to our episodes, but if we remained on that same structure every week, I think it'd get quite stale. So
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
You always got to freshen it.
Yeah, always thinking of
So,
ways to be a bit different.
That's the thing when I did with my Splatoon podcast. Like that was the thing I kind of like. It was either A, I ran out of people to interview or talk to, and B, there wasn't many updates or patches that were currently reoccurring. It was just like, well, people can talk about the main weapons being broken and people need to nerf certain weapons. It's just like the
Just
chat
talk
was
about
the
the
same.
YouTuber all day.
No, that's incorrect. Although that is the best weapon. Yep. Yes. Yes, but no. But like,
Wait, which one's the best?
YouTuber.
The GoTuber.
Oh, I hate the GoTuber. That's
Oh,
my
get
least
over
favorite
yourself.
weapon. No, I hate it.
Just because
My-
your weapon that you main doesn't hold charge for 6 seconds or longer, and you do half charge kills and stuff like that.
I think because when I play Splatoon 2, I consistently forget that you can put that charge in the ink and transfer it out. I literally don't do that. I main Squiffer. I squiff.
Ugh, go away.
Yes.
Disgusting.
No, you get out.
Okay, for those who don't know, GoTuber and
Squiffer
Squiffers
is a
are like the
cleaning
mortal
product.
enemies. But there is one thing we sort of can agree on, and that's bamboo's bad.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
a big
yeah,
fan
there
of bamboo.
yeah,
I
okay,
can't
cool.
aim twice. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Is I can only aim. I'm very bad aimer, so when I need to aim, it needs to be a kill. That
Yeah.
or the splatling. I
Oh.
like the standard.
Yeah, sorry. This is what happens when you open a
or
cabinet
the
of worms in
Hydra.
Splatoon 2. People, as soon as you mention Splatoon 2, one thing, it's like, bam.
Best burst weapon. I don't know, but no, I like the Squiffer because it's a very comfortable range for me. I like to be a support, like in the back. I don't like
Jump
it.
and shoot. It's
different.
so annoying. Jump and shoot. Hold charge, jump, shoot. It's so quick.
Yeah, no.
No
So
brain, no
I
skill.
like to be in the back.
Sorry,
Word.
which would be, yeah.
And also, when someone surprises me, I need to kill them immediately.
I suppose so. I mean, you did that with GoTube, except you hide in the ink with your charge hold. So
It takes so long to charge those.
Oh,
Such a
takes so
powerful
long.
surprise. You die. It really does.
Uh,
Get started. It takes like 6 seconds to charge.
no.
It's like the dynamo. If you get caught off guard with your
Yeah,
dynamo,
That's so
and
much
you
lag
aren't,
with Dynamo.
yeah, also lag.
Yeah, also
Dynamo
lag.
evil. At least you didn't say that the best one was the E-leader. That is my eternal
That's my
enemy.
second favorite weapon. So yeah.
No,
I fucking hate you,
you
Drew.
won. It is the
Yeah.
worst. I hate it.
I
They
fucking
that. I
hate you.
hate it.
You mentioned GoTuber once, and then the whole world blows up.
Bryce,
General
I
chat.
love it.
General, oh, you're shit talking in general, yeah.
You don't
No.
know that was the thumbnail, right?
Oh, that was a setup. You silly goose.
I fucking hate you.
Said the whole
I
time.
fucking hate you.
People are still watching.
No.
Hi.
I fucking hate you. Why are we friends?
Why
God
can't
damn it.
we be friends?
Because there's
Why
nobody
can't
else.
You friends?
Get out.
Oh, and the audio clips. Was
Fuck off.
Was there a bet behind this, or was there something that was said that's caused this?
No.
really.
He just likes to interrupt me with the goose noises, so I guess I'm a goose now.
Okay.
And that and his thing is "you silly goose."
Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough. His catchphrase.
One of
Who's-
his many catchphrases.
No.
I'm like
Like
Bart
big old
Simpson.
BLT Bryce to it, which was my Twitter name for like 2 years.
And then he made you change it. Sort of.
I changed it. I don't know why I changed it. I just changed it. It's no longer big old BLT Bryce to it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Right, lads. If you're not going to leave, I'll leave first then.
If you're not going to leave, I'm going to leave.
I will say it is 11:49, so.
It is.
Oh,
Oh, it is
Delfino,
40.
Delfino, what time is it over there? Let me guess. Is it
Uh,
like 4:30
it's
nearly?
10 till 10 Eastern Standard.
10 to when? 10 to 10.
10 till 10.
Oh,
9:50.
Daylight
Yes.
savings
Yeah.
ended. That's right.
Yeah. All my American friends are at work, so now I
Yeah.
get messages while they're at work and I'm trying to sleep and I'm like, go to bed!
Yeah, I know, right? That's the thing. Like when you stream in Australia, like if I'm streaming like at 7 or 8 o'clock, if for some Americans they'll be like they'll be tuning in at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing? Go to bed. I don't need your viewership. I'm worried about your sleep deprivation or whatever.
They're like, no, I am fine. In fact,
I want
I am
to
doing
watch.
better.
No. Just watch the VOD if you have to. I don't care. Oh gosh. Anyway.
I missed like 3 years ago when I had a lot more time to just like stay up at night.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd get on and play video games with my American friends at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the days. Definitely don't have that time anymore.
Yeah. Time? What's that? Funny joke. You got some pepper with your dinner? Jeez.
Don't worry, that's a thing that Drew will pick on me about too.
I'm
Leave
sorry.
my pepper alone.
That's fine. You can have pepper. It's fine. You're allowed to have your pepper.
He has a shitload of pepper.
That's fine. People like their pepper.
I know.
You should see me with chili.
Pepper person.
I'll have a whole chili by itself.
Mm,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
For Americans, chilies are not what we think they think we're saying. Chilies are jalapeno, kind of like a jalapeno.
I figured a chili meant like a chili pepper, like a
Yeah. Well, because Americans call them bell peppers, and then for us, a bell pepper is a capsicum.
Yeah, that's right.
capsicum.
Yep. CAPSICUM.
Oh, you had to spell it, didn't you?
Just because it makes everybody laugh.
Yeah, of course.
So the
You say
sin?
cum in it. Ha ha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, get up.
Yeah.
This is not my kind of joke.
Very mature man joke. Yes. very
Har
mature.
hardy har.
Or it might be that might be Australian. That might be an Australian joke. I'm not sure. I got
No, I
tagged in a
don't think I
photo.
was.
What is this? What
I
is
have
I
many
don't know.
immature friends.
I don't keep up with Twitter,
Including Drew.
honestly. Out of like all the social media platforms, people are like, why aren't you on Twitter? It's like,
Are you on
I use
Twitter? So you can be on Twitter.
No, I do have a Twitter. It's actually misspelled because they put the ID in wrong. Like,
Oh.
I have no effort to change this. I use it for Nintendo Switch clips,
Mm-hmm.
as you do.
Squiffer quads.
I'm actually.
It
the
is. I
complete
do have
opposite.
some Squiffer clips. Let's go find one.
Link
I
one
don't
in
use-
the chat.
I don't use Facebook anymore.
Yeah,
Like-
Facebook's kind of useless.
I've-
It's like
I've
all I
given
use
up
it for is messaging my wife and maybe
Yeah,
my
me
mum.
too.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I have a Facebook just so when my family wants to tag me, that they have a thing to tag.
And then you can remove your tag because you.
No, I haven't done that. Let's see. There's a lot of Baba clips on my page right now. I'll share this one. It's in the general chat room.
General. I outsniped someone got a double KO.
I'm very proud of this one. This is playing with friends.
Oh yeah,